The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Regular furnace maintenance can be your wallet's best friend, slashing energy bills and warding off those inconvenient breakdowns that seem to strike at the worst moments. Don't leave it to chance. Schedule your tune-up today at standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
Start off with a little advice that I wish my dad gave me. When you realize you're going bald, turn to whoever you're with and propose.
I'm a positive person. To me, going bald is not about hair loss. It's about face gain. It's not a receding hairline. It's an advancing facial frontier. It's exciting. Yeah, one day I'll have a whole head of face.
You fixed me up with a bald woman.
Do you see the irony here? You are rejecting somebody because they're bald.
So?
You're bald!
We're a sect. We're a group. You can't call us bald assholes.
Sir, I'm bald. I'm not offended.
Well, with all due respect, Officer Burt, you are not bald, okay? You have chosen to shave your hair. That's a look that you're cultivating to be fashionable, and we don't really consider you part of the bald community, with all due respect.
It's hump day.
Showtime.
Yeah, well, there you go. Welcome, every damn last one of you, to the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. This right here might be the most exciting part of the day for me. We've just cracked the mics. The show is just beginning. I can see it in everyone's eyes. We're all just feeling great.
How could you tell?
I can see the excitement in your eyes.
Yeah, okay.
Right, Josh?
Ashley's eyes are closed, and she's leaning very far. I thought she was asleep. How can you see it in her eyes?
Sometimes she's just, she falls smooth asleep. How we doing, Cubby? What is this, some kind of a baldness-related holiday?
National Bald is Beautiful Day.
Oh, that's great.
And I got to say it is.
Sure it is.
It doesn't bother me anymore. It sure did when I was 24 years old and I realized I'm starting to lose my hair.
It's not a big deal.
Is it, it was more, not necessarily a stigma. I guess I'm not sure what the word was, but, kind of. People almost seem to look down on you if you're losing your hair, even though there's really not much you can do about it. Is it the same now for younger people?
I think so, yeah. I'm definitely self-conscious about it. I know my salad's about gone.
Well, you got a stupid head.
Yeah, I do.
I mean, it's really a dumb head.
And the hair on top of it doesn't help.
No. you should shave it.
I should.
You've talked about getting some replacement. Are you going to be doing that or what?
No, that's not going to happen.
You're not going to do it?
Nah, not going to go through with that. I'll just get rid of it. It's not that, it was important to me as a younger guy, but hearing you guys tell your stories, it's a part of life.
It ain't no thing. It's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
I have my wife likes bald guys. That works in my favor.
Does?
Nice.
Big time.
All right. Well, anybody got a clippers right now?
You want to do it? We should do it on air.
We should do it on air. That'd be fun.
Like Cubby said, it maybe troubled me for about 15 minutes. When I first noticed it was going, it was kind of shocking. Really, it was, because I'd never taken a real close look. I remember passing by the old radio building we used to be in Golden Valley many, many, many years ago. I was walking into work, and I caught my reflection in a window. And I stopped, and I did the gimmick where you pull your hair back, and check out your widow's peak.
Yep.
And I said, son of a bitch. I had never noticed before, and it took me by surprise a little bit, and then 20 minutes later, life goes on.
I always kind of had a 5 head, and but I didn't notice I was going bald. Somebody pointed it out to me, and it kind of pissed me off, to be honest. I remember where I was.
Really?
Yeah, remember the old Billabong in Bloomington on 494?
Jesus, I had a couple of hot dates at that joint.
Oh, that place was hopping
I had a couple of hot dates at that joint. Normandale Boulevard?
Just east of that, but maybe between France and Normandale.
Copy.
So there's a guy that used to work here, and they would all go out and get these shots they had there. And maybe I've never seen them anywhere else, but at the Billabong, they're called these effing awesomes. I don't even know what was in it. But they could get you drunk. I can tell you that much.
I bet.
And so we were on our second or third, and this dude's like, man, you're losing your hair. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's like, you're going bald. I'm like, You have no idea you don't even know what bald is.
Yeah.
That's why I went to the bathroom. I'm like, oh my God, I think he's right. When did this start?
Oh,
I was like you, John. I was in denial for like the first time somebody. I'm like, no, it's just the way it's parted right now, or it's just because it's And then I finally had to do that deep investigation. I'm like, oh yeah, no, they're on something there.
I mean, once you see it, you can't help but notice it, and there's no stopping it in most cases. I remember, again, for about 20 minutes, losing my hair bothered me, and then you forget about it, really. You got other things to worry about. I remember being slightly angry with my mother when I first noticed, like I said, in the window when I pulled my hairdo back. And back then, I had a hell of a lot of hair.
Because of genetics?
Because when I was a kid, my mother would always say, oh, well, if there's one thing that's certain, you will never lose your hair.
Oh, no.
Because my hair was so massive when I was a kid. I looked like, just some kind of a little animal. And, I did have a big fat head of hair when I was a young guy.
Did your mom's father have a lot of hair?
Let's not get into that. I get so tired of that.
That's
gimmick.
like actually true.
Well, Wapple just brought it up a couple days ago. And my mom's father, no, he was a cue ball. But anyway, for whatever reason, my mother would dump that on me a lot. Oh, well, despite all of your other shortcomings, at least you'll never go bald. That kind of a thing. And then so that crossed my mind. How weird is that? Here I was a 24, 5-year-old man, and for at least a minute, I thought, well, F you, Mom.
What? You know what's funny? This is somewhat related, but I was at my youngest's football game the other day. My mom's there, and my mom, we were talking about, not being very tall, but me, my brother, and my mom, despite coming from a tall family, right? And my mom's only 5 feet. I'm 5'9" and shrinking. And I was kind of mad at my mom. Hey, thanks a lot. Thanks for doing this. As if she had any say in it. Like, why would you do this to somebody? That's not cool.
When I was 15 or 16 years old, you guys never knew me with hair. Josh knew me with hair. The rest of you didn't. When I was 15 or 16, you want to know how beautiful my hair was? Once at a cafe in northern Minnesota, an elderly woman, just passing our table as we're having lunch, an elderly woman asked if she could run her fingers through my hair.
Well,
so weird.
And I allowed her to.
As I've said before, with great embarrassment, I was a hair model one point.
Hair model.
I used to get that all the time too, Nick, because my hair was so curly. I'd get girls that would come up, and older ladies, and they just want to touch my hair. They're like, oh, I love the curls. I would just play with them all day.
Is that what started your...
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
For a while there, if folks don't know, for quite a stretch of time, Wapple had a boner for the elderly, the elderly generation. The older women got you running hot. Maybe that's what started it, all those old-timers touching you.
I'm starting to lose my hair. My girlfriend told me and brought it up to me a year ago and said that I'm starting to lose my hair, and I hate it.
But didn't she say you got to do something about it? I thought she was telling you. You better
she's
fix
working
this.
on that.
What are you talking about? She's working on what?
Like some hair treatment stuff.
Oh, for God's sake, stop wasting your time.
She works for the cosmetic place that does lip filler and Botox and.
Well, why is she so worried about it?
Because I'm gonna look terrible bald. I'm gonna have this small head.
Well, that's awful shallow of her. Doesn't she love you for the Muppet that you are, or she loves you for your?
No, she definitely does. But I mean. God, I'm going to look so bad.
Love has its limits.
Stop worrying about it, for God's sake.
I think you should start picking apart your perceived flaws on her.
Yeah.
And say, you could work on this. We could do this together.
Yeah, that's going to go over
That's a great idea. Yeah, today when you get back to the property that she owns that you rent from her, you should say, you look like you got some saddlebags coming in. Maybe... When I'm driving off to the hair restoration factory, I'll drop you off at the gym so you can get on a treadmill.
Yeah, and your hooters are a little lopsided.
Yeah.
Maybe you could do something about that.
Hey, I'm just saying, if she's going to come after you that route, maybe she needs to get a little of that back. That's pretty shallow of her.
Goosetown Jesus said the more hair he loses, the more head he gets.
Oh.
Get the pun there?
Yeah.
He's a handsome guy. I'd believe it. He's sending a photo.
Wapple, every time we talk about this subject, you seem so defeated and you're dreading.
Because I want my hair too.
Just stop it. It's fine. It's fine. Listen to him over there.
I know. I hate it.
Now, let me ask.
hate it.
So, I mean, did that bother you at all?
What?
That when your girlfriend said, hey, you got to do something about it.
Kinda. Yeah.
Yeah, it would bother me,
yeah,
too.
it would be, too, because I asked my girlfriend, and I said, what do you think? Think I should do something about it? Should I get it replaced or do the enhancements? She's like, it's fine, whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter to me.
Wapple,
she was on Tinder at the time. She was scrolling through potential.
She's like, how many ex-boyfriends' numbers do I have in my phone still?
Wapple, you got to let it go, dude, and just...
It's not your fault, man.
Just like my hair, I gotta let it go.
Just let her know, hey, I'm sorry. I apologize for what I'm obviously doing to make this happen.
That's pretty mean-spirited, the way your landlord girlfriend is. She said something pretty... Oh, so where are we now? What's the date? September 13th.
I'm glad she's spreading the trash talk around. It's not just me and Nick she's trash talking. It's also you, Wapple, and your lack of hair on the top of your head.
Yeah, she doesn't like the two of us. So what are we, a week away from our trip to... what are we doing? When do we go to Wisconsin?
Late October.
In a month.
Oh, that's a month away. Mm-hmm. In a week we do the boat party. In a month we do the Wisconsin casino party. Okay. Last year at the Wisconsin casino party, your girlfriend slash landlord, she said something pretty mean-spirited to you there. But I was about to go to bed, and I didn't want to get into it, and so I did just walk away, and I went into my luxurious hotel room. I know you guys were staying in little garbage hotel rooms. Josh and I had the big luxurious one.
I slept in the car.
I felt like I was in a palace in Saudi Arabia where we were staying.
Do you remember the mean thing she said to you at this party,
No,
Wapple?
not at all.
She was very complimentary to me that evening, and that was nice. She said, you and Josh, you're very funny guys. I listen to the show every day. My mother and I listen to the show, and we love it. And I said, that's very nice of you. And she turns to Wapple, and she says, Nick and Josh aren't going to do this forever. We got to make you funny. You're not funny.
Dude,
do you remember that?
Great. She's awesome.
That would cut me up pretty good. That is not true.
She said to you, these guys, Nick and Josh are quite a bit older than you. They're going to retire. They're going to walk away from this someday. What are you going to do?
We got to make you funny. Let's work on that.
I think you are funny.
And I was about ready to step in and say, bitch, who are you talking to? But again, I was kind of tired. It was the end of the night, so I just went back to my luxurious hotel room, and I was unconscious within 5 minutes. But I don't know if I like the way she comes off sometimes.
Yeah, my youngest will give me crap about it, and I don't know what he's talking about. I'm like, hey, you know what, dickhead? You're going to go bald, too. Mm-hmm. You've got a 5 head. You have my hair when I was your age. This thing, you're not going to keep this very long. I hope he loses it by the time he hits high school. That'll teach him.
Just pin him down to shave his head.
Bald is beautiful day.
Wapple, you're getting some love. The type of love you don't get at home, you're getting via text here. That's nice of people to.
A lot of nice warm fuzzies for Wapple right now on the text line.
Oh,
thanks,
God.
Folks.
Well, do we have time to move on? Because I wanted to ask you guys about something. Yeah, we got a few minutes, don't we, Josh?
Oh, yeah. Plenty of time, actually.
What the hell was I just reading? Yeah, maybe the 3-4 of you can help me out with something over here. I was just reading something or another, something on the internet that covered the little games we played as kids or even young adults with some shady sexual stuff that would happen, like 7 Minutes in Heaven, Truth or Dare. You following where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
Okay.
The old kissing games.
Kissing games? Is that what you'd call it? Okay,
I'll
go along with that. The little games we played when we were young, some of it, grade school stuff, some of it when we were a little older, where some shady sexual stuff would happen. So the reason I wanted to bring it up is there's one game in here that I don't recognize, and maybe you can straighten me out and tell me what it was all about. So you got your 7 Minutes in Heaven. Now, we didn't play that in my neighborhood, but tell me if I'm mistaken here. You duck into a closet with somebody, You got 7 minutes to do whatever you like to each other, and then you come out the closet, and everyone goes, "Ha! Look at you! Oh, there's lipstick on your right."
Yep.
Okay.
That was the gist of 7 Minutes in Heaven.
We didn't play that in my neighborhood.
I wanted to.
I bet you did.
Yeah, we there's plenty of parties where that was played. I was mostly a spectator. By mostly, I mean 100% of the time.
You were the guy celebrating. Hey, yeah, good for you guys.
Any second now, they're going to put me in. Put me in, coach. Put me in.
Can't wait for my turn.
You got
we're done playing.
You got spin the bottle.
Yeah, classic.
I remember only playing that once. Again, that wasn't big in my neighborhood. I do remember the one time we played it. I don't exactly remember how the game goes. Was it basically you spin the bottle? If the bottle points at you, you have to what? Kiss somebody? That's what I remember about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wasn't there dares? I'm trying. We played it just once too. I thought there was. You could choose beforehand.
Kind of like truth or dare type.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Well, the way we played it, the bottle pointed at me, and I had to kiss a girl, which was fine by me, except this gal was 4 times my size. And I don't mean, what I mean is height. What I mean by that. She was extremely tall for our age, and I just felt like a chihuahua crawling up on a NBA player. So she was so tall, and it was just awkward. Okay. I don't get this. Hide and go seek was included in these sexual games we played. When did hide and go seek turn sexual?
I don't know. I always played the regular one.
It was
if you find them, do you get to have sex with them?
Or what are we searching for? Oh, there it is, your wiener.
We did that one a lot because it was like team hide and go seek, you know.
Team hide and go.
So
seek.
you'd be with, I'd partner up with a girl and we would go hide, and then that would lead to people making out.
Oh, hide and go seek never went in that direction for us.
You've played all these games.
Yeah.
Dana. Mm-hmm. I have. We did spin the bottle, but nothing really happened. That's the only one I ever did.
I didn't get to play even that.
What? You never got to play spin the bottle waffle?
No.
Well, you have to get together with friends in order to play these games. You got to get funny, and your hair looks terrible.
You should do something about both those things.
What's with your appearance and your personality? It's not quite good enough for me. But yet somehow I'm dating you and living with you. Truth or dare? Of course, massive amounts of fun when we were young.
Oh, yeah, that was the biggest one.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something right now. Maybe some of you can relate. You think Truth or Dare was fun in junior high? Play it when you're in your mid-20s, by damn.
Yeah, I was going to say that I've used that on dates quite a bit.
Oh, wow,
Really?
We had a couple games of Truth or Dare up at college that should have been on Pornhub. I loved that stuff. I loved it when we started playing Truth or Dare as adults.
Has anybody ever gotten one of those sex games with cards or something, and you're supposed to do, hey, you draw this card and
yeah, they're okay.
I've never gotten into them. Yeah, I've never seen them. I mean,
totally dumb.
They are dumb.
I've seen them. I know they are, but I've never done it in real life.
Like the dice game, that's dumb too.
Yeah,
I don't like any of the I have to re-roll 4 times, and I end up just re-rolling until I get something I like.
A buddy of mine was telling me one of the cards he drew, between he and his wife got it for him for their anniversary.
Sure.
It was like, share your sexual fantasy. And he's like, if I shared my sexual fantasy, we'd be divorced right now.
Oh, that's scary.
There's no way what he wants to do. There's no way.
I've been with a couple of women in my day that wanted to play those cute little card games between couples, and it was just so boring. Let's cut to the chase.
It does feel forced.
Let's give a back massage. It's all
some
stuff
of
like
the
that.
things are fun, but some of them are too romantic. No, I don't want to share my feelings.
Right, that's what I'm talking about. A lot of it can be so. Let's just maul each other and get it over with. Like we're okay. What else did they have in here? Strip poker.
That was another common one. Yeah.
I never played. Mostly because I don't know how to play poker.
That's where
that's why people play strip poker.
Played it a few times. It was never a big gimmick in my neighborhood. But we had one great game. We had one great session of strip poker when we were about 17 years old. And ooh-wee, That was a good night. It was a good night. I got to see some things that me and one of my best pals back in high school, we got to see some things that no other swinging D at our high school ever got to see. And we consider ourselves very lucky. But like I said, there was one game in here that was completely foreign to me. So tell me, on the list here of the flirty sexual games we played when we were young, what in the hell is suck and blow?
Oh, yeah. Isn't it like where you take a piece of paper, and you suck to keep it on your mouth, and then you go to the next person and put it on their mouth?
Pass it on to them, yeah. Sometimes we used to do with playing cards, you know? You take
that's what I remember with playing cards.
Oh, it's not in your mouth.
No,
on the outside.
It's like you inhale so that it's stuck to your lips, and then you pass it on to the next person.
Okay.
Yeah, we played at every family reunion. It's a lot of fun.
It's embarrassing when the card slips.
So that sounds like grade school stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Wapple. Slips. Heather the Tricycle Jesus on Wapple getting bashed by his girlfriend. All he knows, quote unquote, is Wapple is responsible for most of his laughter most of the mornings. You see, Wapple?
Wow. That's sweet.
Thank you.
So despite the graphic...
Maybe I'm going to have sex with you.
What?
Heather the Tricycle?
You're going to have... Despite the graphic title here, Suck and Blow, it's a very innocent grade school type game.
Very much so, yeah.
Copy that.
I'm picturing the conversations at your house, Wapple. Hey, you know what? You're bald and ugly. You should do something about that.
And your career will be over when Nick and Josh retire.
Yeah. You're also not funny. You're very good at your job. You know what? But the station doesn't pay you, and they don't treat you very well.
Yeah, right. That's kind of, what's the word I'm looking for there, Josh? Ironic?
Right.
Yeah. You're ugly and your personality sucks. She says to you when you're in private at her townhouse that you rent from her. But then she says, we don't treat you very well. That's cute. I like that.
You do deserve a raise, that's for sure. Too bad you chose radio as a career.
Ah, man. Yeah, that game of strip poker back in '89.
Yeah, I only played that once, maybe twice as well. And that was as a young adult, early 20s.
Man, there's always a lot of shady dealing going on in those games, those strip poker games. You know, it wasn't an official legit deal or something.
Oh, is that right?
I'm glad I've never got involved. Seems sketchy.
So, did you guys have rules where it was like you can't go, oh, I lost a round, got to take one earring off? Another earring. Did you go straight to close?
It depended on the crowd.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes
Same
you were
with us.
playing with a crowd that wanted to get naked right now, and sometimes you were playing with a crowd that wanted it to take forever.
I also noticed it also depended on how much booze was involved, too.
Sure.
Yeah, that makes a difference.
Did you guys ever play? I always get crap for bringing this game up. When you're in the car with somebody and you see someone driving towards you in the opposite direction, if they have a headlight out,
beer.
Whoever hits the ceiling first, the other person has to take off an article of clothing.
No, we didn't play. We played a version of that game. It didn't involve clothing removal.
Oh yeah, that was probably the biggest game I remember from like high school.
So you're trying to get your clothes off while in a car?
Yeah, because then eventually it's like, now
You're
we're both
naked in a
naked in a
car.
car. Now what are we gonna do?
Get a public
Probably pull
exposure
over.
ticket. That's what you're going to do.
Yeah, our version was if a car is approaching us with one headlight, you say beer, and the last guy to say it had to slam his.
Wait a minute. I thought you said you were driving.
Well, yeah.
You can pull over safely.
Yeah, I mean, we lived. We know it wasn't the greatest idea, but we made it, and everyone else involved on the roadway did as well.
People are saying actually that game is called Padiddle.
Oh, okay.
So you're naked in a car eventually.
Yep.
Naked
stuff.
in a car.
Yeah, but if there would be sometimes there'd be the people that were playing with it. Josh, like you were saying, would take off an earring or something. Like no, that doesn't work. You can't take off a sock.
Quit being a prude.
Yeah, I was at one of the times. I'm saying one of the times. It was maybe 3 times, but one of them there was a person that was very upset that was going on. Oh, here goes one sock. Here's one shoe. Here's one sock. They didn't like the fact that we were taking so long. By we, I mean the girls. We're taking so long to get naked. I don't think he cared if I did one sock than the other sock.
It's a hell of a deal, isn't it? A hell of a deal. It's Wednesday today. A wonderful day. Brad Ryder and Randy Shaver will be joining us around 7:30 this morning. We're getting closer and closer to the weekend. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. We got to take a break. We'll be right back on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, Minnesota. CJ Ham here. Huddle up for a second. You need someone to go the extra yard when your furnace is out? Give the ball to the certified pros at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. They've been at it for 90 years. Ready? Break.
Regular furnace maintenance can be your wallet's best friend, slashing energy bills and warding off those inconvenient breakdowns that seem to strike at the worst moments. Don't leave it to chance. Schedule your tune-up today at standardheating.com.
Stacking Benjamins with Joe and his good friend OG not only has great financial insight, it's laid back with humor too.
The Len Penzo sandwich survey.
I wanted to know, was it really cheaper to brown bag it every day, or was it cheaper to go through the school lunch?
And the most expensive sandwich of all,
46% increase. This is the first time a sandwich has ever touched $5. Before anybody gags on that, though, it's a great sandwich.
Find out more by searching the Stacking Benjamins podcast, wherever you listen.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
I wasn't quite ready for that. But I think I can get her done anyway. You know, earlier, Josh, we were talking about those silly little flirty sexual games we played as young people.
Right.
You got your truth or dare, you got your 7 minutes in heaven, you got your spin the bottle and this and that. And someone even wanted to include hide and go seek as a sexual game. We didn't play it like that when we were kids, but Dana said something about once you found someone, you had to kiss them.
No, what we did, it was like a team. So you'd team up with a guy or a girl, you know, that you might have a crush on. You would go
I'll
hide together.
take one of each, just for the record.
There you go.
One of each.
And then you go hide together, you know, then you end up in the closet, and there's just an excuse to start, you know, kind of fooling around.
You're not going to, Josh, I don't know if you'll believe this, but a listener texted in and said one of the games that he used to play, they called it hide and go hump. And he simply says it was kind of like hide and go seek, but when you find them, you have to hump them.
I've heard people say, why don't you, out of frustration, why don't you go play hide and go F yourself? Have you ever heard that one?
I love that one.
That's a good one.
All right, the stupid news, you say. All right, fair enough. The very first story we're going to cover. It sounds hurtful, as Josh would say. Hurtful. A dude in Oregon by the name of Stephen Urenda. He's gone ahead and sued the company he used to work for. Stephen says that the folks in the HR department there at the company, of all people, the folks in the human resources department, sent him a penis-shaped cake. And inside the cake it said, quote, eat a D.
That's fun.
I think I'd laugh at that.
Yeah.
No matter how much hatred there was between me and whoever gave that to me.
And now you got a cake.
Good call.
Yeah, that is a good point.
Stephen was the janitorial operations manager at this company, a joint called something or another, doesn't matter. He was the janitorial operations manager at the company. He's asking for $500,000
Dang.
in damages. He says he was forced to resign over the, quote, increasingly hostile work environment. The trouble started when a pink box was delivered to his home back in May of 2022. Inside the box, by damn, was a large black chocolate penis plus balls. And on the inside of the box, it said in big old letters, eat a D. Mr. Urenda is Hispanic. He said he was, quote, disgusted by the obvious racial implications of mailing a large black chocolate penis to his household. He shared this household with a partner and his child who is biracial and identifies as black. Both Yorenda's partner and the young kid saw the mega chocolate dong when it showed up at the house. And surprisingly, the box was sent by a human resources employee at his work. These are the people that bring you in there and say, look, you can't say that and you can't do that.
Yeah, they're the people that tell you not to send chocolate dong cakes to people.
There's a guy in this building that I am going to vote most likely to spend a lot of time in HR.
Oh! I know exactly who it is. You cannot have one interaction with that person without making this sound.
That's so true.
You know,
and the interaction could be just passing in the hallway and something happened where you thought, oh, icky.
Yeah.
That's going to get us in some trouble.
You know how these days when someone says something that might be perceived as slightly insensitive, you make this sound, you go, I don't know if you should have said that, right? I know who you're talking about, Cubby. So, the employee from the Human Resources Department who sent this massive cake penis to our guy, Steven, her name is Jessica Carlin. She allegedly sent this to Steven. Her name and information were accidentally left on the box, so she must be really bright. The lawsuit that Steve put together claims that Miss Carlin had recently called him a huge D and made other derogatory statements about Steven to management. In the weeks before the chocolate pecker showed up at his front step, it sounds like there was a little static between Steven and this Carlin gal's husband. When he received the package, he said it made him feel like, quote, the resident piece of at the company. Made him feel bad. Jessica Carlin is her name again from the HR department. She admitted to sending the package. She told Steve she did it because she was, quote, very sensitive when it comes to her husband. Boy, does she sound like a pain in the ass.
She took something that could have been, that is just like a cute joke and made it too serious.
Steve told the owners of the company about the double-sized Choco Schlong, but he said they got the impression that they wanted to sweep it under the... He got the impression that they wanted to sweep it under the rug. They wanted to get it out of the way. This Carlin lady was allowed to remain at work. Steve did get an apology note from the owners with a $50 gift card for a bakery that sells genital-shaped cakes. I'm kidding. No, they gave him a $50 gift card. They said they were sorry. Some folks at work made fun of him. After the incident, 2 months later, he upped and quit, and now he's looking to get paid, son.
Oh, I'd go for the jugular if they gave me an apology note and a $50 gift card.
That's worse. They should have just gave him the apology.
Yep.
You know, if they're going to chintz out on something like that.
It depends on where the $50 gift card is, too.
Paper Hauling Jesus wants to know if you get this D cake, do you take the whole cake at once or just the tip? I could handle that whole cake.
Yeah.
Fair question.
Oh, no. Not for me. Just the tip, please.
I know we usually don't talk about sports until a little bit later on in our radio show, but I couldn't wait to tell you about this. An orangutan at a zoo in Australia just set a new distance record for possum launching.
This record is going to be tough to break. That was an impressive throw.
The record possum toss was, of course, video recorded on somebody's cellular telephone, and they posted it up on social media, and then things went wild from there. In the video, this orangutan is hanging out at the zoo. He's up in a tree in some kind of a hut the zoo made for him. It kind of looks like a deer stand kind of a setup. And apparently, earlier in the day, the orangutan found a possum in his enclosure, and the big fella wasn't interested in marsupial company, maybe is the way you put it. So he's kind of playing with the possum in his little enclosure. He's poking at it with a stick. Then he picked the little bastard up. He climbs up his tree into his ape stand. And then he Kareem Abdul-Jabbar sky-hooked this possum out of there as far and high into the sky as he could. Is that video up on our website?
Yes.
People who are visiting the zoo watched this whole thing happen. Some were screaming at the sight of this possum shooting through the air like they were watching a field goal attempt at an NFL game. Only the throwing, not the kicking. The funniest part of the whole bit, for me, was after Orangutan tossed the possum into oblivion. He climbs up to a higher point on his ape stand, and he puts his hand above his eyes to shield the sun, just like, say, a golf dork would do to try and see where his golf ball had traveled. Orangutan was trying to see how far he had thrown the sumbitch.
Oh, my gosh. That's messed up.
He kind of scoots up a little higher up and goes, oh, where'd that peckerhead land? Let me see if I can... Didn't he, Cubby?
Yeah, he wanted to see his work.
Hand up above his eyes to shield the sun. Where'd he go?
That possum did not think that was coming today.
No.
I wonder if for a short amount of time that was a lot of fun as a possum. I mean, that's a unique experience flying through the air like that.
Mm-hmm. They don't get that very
He might
often.
have stuck the landing. Who knows?
Yeah, do they land on their feet like cats, you think?
Well, zoo officials said they don't think the possum survived his trip into outer space.
A hell of a way to go up for a possum.
Hey, until they find it, he's alive in my mind.
Mm-hmm. According to a witness to the possum toss, the poor little bastard landed in another exhibit occupied is how you say it. He landed in another exhibit occupied by two different orangutans. So if he did live through,
catch.
Maybe they were trying to. If this possum did live, he must have been thinking, "Oh, great, two more, you bastards, huh?"
I wonder what the biggest animal a possum could, or excuse me, a orangutan could launch. Because that was nothing. That possum was absolutely nothing for this orangutan.
I imagine they've got some upper body strength to where they could throw you and me.
I bet you're
most
right.
Definitely.
I'll throw you and me across the room without a...
They're tough bastards.
Yeah, well, they wouldn't break a sweat throwing me 30, 40 feet, I bet.
But if, they'd rip our faces off, and then they'd throw us. They'd throw the faces.
They'd rip your faces off and then wear them and then throw you.
Or just throw them like frisbees, face frisbees, and then throw our bodies.
But, of course, once certain lunatics on social media got a look at this video, there were some who want to stop time and throw a fundraiser for the possum and his family because this is just the most horrible thing that's ever happened.
Survival of the fittest.
Others basically said, who effing cares? We got bigger problems to argue over than one possum being forced to recreate the career of Evel Knievel. Josh, if you're at all worried about the possum, one person did say online, possums are resilient. It could have survived that drop if it was cushioned by a tree.
I see something that says the possum was sighted scurrying off afterwards.
No, he was in pieces.
Oh,
he was fine. He was just fine.
This is fake news. They're lying to me.
He was in pieces.
Better than Dana at Mario Kart. Jesus said the Twins should sign that orangutan to the bullpen.
Not a bad idea.
I bet they could pick me up, Cubby, and throw me clear across the room.
Yeah, I would think so.
Hell yeah, he could.
They're powerful animals.
Are they one of the apes that show that deep expression of sadness on their face when you go to the zoo?
Gorillas.
Gorillas?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they always... You're right. I remember when you first said... Because you were kind of a zoo enthusiast for a while. You would go there quite a bit.
I still do love the zoo.
Yeah. I remember Josh telling me the only thing he dislikes about visiting the zoo is when you walk past the gorillas. By damn, do they look depressed.
They do.
Yeah, the dad always looks like he just lost his job. Like there's a suitcase sitting next to him, his tie's undone, his hair's disheveled. How am I going to tell my wife?
Yeah, he just got fired.
Yeah.
He needed to know how to tell the family.
I'm not even vested in my 401k yet. I get nothing.
And not being a big zoo visitor, I hadn't been there in decades. So Josh tells me about these depressed gorillas, and then I upped and went to the zoo. And man, you described it so perfectly. Mm-hmm. But you know what cheered me up?
What's that?
The groundhogs.
Aren't they cute?
Yeah, those are good.
I wanted to climb over the little plexiglass and grab one of those sumbitches and run out of there.
Have you guys ever seen the horny turtles? They're always humping.
Oh, yeah.
This is the Minnesota Zoo. Anytime I go there, they're humping.
I haven't seen turtles do it.
I had a friend that's how that was when she was younger. That was the first time she ever saw sex. It was two turtles.
Two turtles?
Very confused. Very, very confused.
Why are they attacking each other?
Yep, basically, and the noises they make. Yeah.
Oh, turtle noises.
Now, this here is one of those stories that reminds me that there is a completely different world out there than the one I'm living in. Customs officials in China seized 16 live lizards that were hidden inside a lady's damn bra.
Oh, that's squirmy.
I bet it was.
Oh, I don't like that.
It tickles.
The lizard lady. She was trying to get on a ferry boat to go Summers. I don't know, but they busted her. You see what I'm saying? I can't imagine living in a world where lizard smuggling is a thing that happens. and we get a fresh story like this sent our way from China and places like that, I'd say once a month. And those are just the stories that make it all the way out this way.
I mean, she must have looked like a specimen. The bags they pulled out of her, huge. I mean, her boobs must have looked just outrageous. They show there's.
Wow.
What about her boobs?
Yeah.
They must have looked outrageous with all those lizards in her bra.
Yeah.
I mean, did you see the size of the?
No,
look at the size of the bags. So, I mean,
she had 16 of those bags in her.
I think
bra.
she needs a back surgeon.
This is up on 93x.com too.
Okay, I never saw the pictures.
Pictures.
But yeah, one bag of lizards is about the size of a boob.
I think they just have 2 bags.
What?
I think they have 2 bags, but 16 lizards.
That's
yeah,
right.
It's 2
I'm
bags.
Sorry.
So 8 and 8.
I lost my gourd.
I mean, still impressive.
Yeah.
2 bags with 8 lizards in each bag. But still, it must have made her cans look insane.
Yeah, those are big. Wapple, in your estimation, of all the lizards that are smuggled into airports, we got 16 lizards here. What percentage would that be of all the lizards that are smuggled into airports?
I would probably say maybe like 2%.
2%?
Yeah, I don't think you're really seeing many lizards go through an airport.
It would be low, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Short but Fat Cheeses has a question. What would happen if those lizards would have bit her nips? I don't know.
That would have been great.
I want to know.
I mean, maybe she likes that.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I mean, sure.
Maybe that makes her feel funny, It makes her feel fresh.
I love that she had that thought.
Mm-hmm. What if they bite her nips? By the way, so the custom officials found 16 how do you say it?
Lizards.
They found 16 lizards squirming up against this lady's boobs. She had them stashed in her bra. Guess how the story describes the agent's reaction to what they found? They were what?
Gobsmacked.
That's right.
If the lady gets bit in the nipples, going back to that, would she turn into a lizard woman?
Yeah.
No.
That's how that works.
That's her origin story?
Yeah, it would have to work that way.
No, that doesn't start with the nipples. You got to go a little lower. Yes, you're correct.
Smuggle them in that way, too.
They described the customs agent's reaction as gobsmack. This was written by an English person, so of course they were... God, change the record. Oh, see, now here it says there were 5 bags of live lizards inside this gal's bra.
Jeez.
There's a video of this. She was attempting to traffic the lizards into Hong Kong for money, I guess. I don't know how things work over there. She was wearing what they call here incredibly baggy clothes. The cops put her through a very sexy strip search, and the lizards fell out. The lizards were then beaten unmercifully,
No.
and then bagged up and passed on to wildlife officials. I don't know why they were beaten.
Yeah, it seems a little unnecessary.
Yeah. But it says here, beaten unmercifully.
Wouldn't they be like moving and wiggling around?
Yeah.
Lady, your boobs are moving.
Ma'am?
Yeah.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Why you looking?
What a gig.
And your nipples just extended a long, flicky tongue.
Just ate a fly.
Texas Carpenter Jesus has checked in to correct you, Wapple. He looked on Google. That's actually 1.35% of the lizards in the air.
You guys can't take me for real anymore.
What do you think about that gig, Cubby? Smuggling critters and insects and such.
I guess if you're desperate for cash.
And I'm not done yet. Here, check this out. This is a thing. Last month, customs agents seized 77 seahorses,
What?
5 snakes, and something called snail ointment from a dude traveling through a U.S. airport. I believe he was on his way to Vietnam.
Seahorses are actually really small. When
Well,
I was
yeah.
a child, I always thought,
Yeah, they're
I
tiny,
always thought
tiny
they were
little
gonna be
something.
bigger.
No.
I was extremely let down the first time I saw one at the zoo.
The seahorses?
Yeah, they're just like as big as my palm.
Well, there's some bigger. I think they're awesome. Back to the Minnesota Zoo. That display they have, or whatever, the aquariums with those in it. I think they're cool.
They are quite unique. They're fascinating to look at. How and why the hell do they look just like a horse?
I don't know.
There's so much detail in such a little thing.
Isolate that.
You do it to yourself, Ashley.
No, every day almost.
This same dude with the 77 seahorses and the 5 snakes and the snail ointment, he was also trying to smuggle illegal pork products, whatever in God's name that means.
That's a range.
I mean, how long is the list of illegal items that I would need to be aware of if I got a job as an airport customs official?
Oh, I bet it takes a lot of training. to go through all of
Guns,
them.
drugs, seahorses, illegal pulled pork sandwiches, lizards, jarred farts, honey badgers, butt plugs, boa constrictors.
Yeah, sure. I can't remember. Are jarred farts allowed through, or
How do you smuggle butt plugs out of curiosity?
You put them in your mouth.
Makes sense.
I was driving yesterday and they had a snake with them.
Fair enough.
Have you ever seen that?
No, I haven't.
I've seen people walk around town with a snake. I plenty of people walking around town. I don't know if I've seen one in a motor vehicle. Well, how are you supposed to get your snake to the walking trail to show other people?
True.
You have to.
Was it just like around their neck, or where was it chilling?
It was around his neck, and then we stopped behind him at a stoplight, and then I saw him moving his fingers around, and I thought he was smoking, and then I was like, whoa, that looks like a snake.
Yeah,
Must be fake.
If you're going to Uptown,
Oh yeah, you'll see people walking iguanas.
To sit on the jogging trail, you have to get your snake there somehow, Wapple.
Yeah, and then he put the snake's head out like it was a dog.
So there's
And
no
then it was
possibility
just
he
moving
didn't know, and you passed on an opportunity to alert him he was being attacked by a snake? Nothing like
he
that?
knew. It was
What does
around
it
his
mean
neck.
to put its head out like a dog? What do you mean?
You know when a dog puts their head out the window?
Out the window.
Yeah, that's what he did with his snake.
What?
I was like,
No, he did not.
yes, he swear to God.
He didn't roll
Why
the
would I
window
make
down
this
so
up?
his snake could look
Dude,
out the.
that's crazy.
Yeah, he had the window down the whole time, and I was like, what the hell?
Dental Babe Jesus said she had a patient who was a TSA inspection officer at MSP, and he said he inspected tractor equipment. Monkeys were the most common thing.
really?
I'd love to own a monkey. I suppose until I had one and realized all the work that would be. But
Yeah.
Maybe like a rent a monkey program for the weekend or something. You can have a monkey to hang out with.
That's great.
yeah, can you get a monkey for a birthday party or something like
You'd
that?
think so.
We had a pony at a birthday party when I was a kid.
Dang, you guys were rich.
Yeah, dude, that's cool. What?
Who had a pony?
Did you get like pony rides?
You
and stuff?
did?
It was like a whole neighborhood like block party type thing. There's a pony there. It was me and my sister's birthday around the same age. I was terrified of the thing. I did not enjoy myself.
Oh.
You were scared of a pony? I thought every kid loved ponies.
Yeah, I don't really remember all that. Obviously, I think it was like 3, but my parents told me that I was not a fan of the pony. I was quite terrified.
Yeah, I guess when you're 3, it looks pretty big.
Here's a story. Yes, what?
Yeah, I'm going to have to isolate that one, too.
What did she say this time?
I guess when you're 3, it looks pretty big.
Maybe we don't want to run that.
I'll still pull it.
Well, it's for humor, you know. It's just kind of a bit we have here.
Gray's hit soundtrack.
Here's a story where, I guess I want to make sure we have the pictures up on the website before we start talking about it. Ashley, the gal with the cans as big as your damn head.
Yep, that's up.
She's on 93x.com. Here's a young lady. She's 38 years old. She lives in a place called Illinois. She says her boobs weigh as much as a newborn baby. And before it's all said and done, she wants the biggest implants in the modern civilized world. She does. She's gone ahead with 3 surgeries already. She's hauling 38 double G's around town as it is. But she ain't done, son. She says her name is Zeni Zounds. Zenizounds. I'm not sure where she's going with that. Zeni Zounds? Is that a reference to a rock star or a superhero or something?
No, I have no idea. I tried figuring it out.
Her first set of bolt, maybe it's her real name. Most ladies I see on the internet, I assume they're not going with their real name. Her first set of bolt-ons were sewed on in 20 plus 21. She went back 3 months later, pumped them up even more. Then she went bigger, and then she even went back again and went even bigger than that. Now she says her cans weigh 7.17 pounds each. Is that what she means,
Ouch.
Josh?
That's my guess.
That sounds miserable.
And the story says that's the size of an average newborn baby. She admits that her massive cans do make everyday activities difficult. I bet she sucks at push-ups and ping pong.
Oh, and sitting at a table.
Oh, she can't sleep on her stomach.
I don't know if you saw any photos of her sitting at a table. Even that looked difficult.
Yeah, she does say here, it's difficult even to fire food into her yap because she's more or less got a couple of bowling balls hanging just under her chin, by God. She can't run. She can't play her guitar no more. She wants to get into the entertainment industry, and like I said, she wants to keep pumping up her jugs until she's got the biggest and baddest on the planet. She says they are a symbol and proof that I'm living my life exactly how I want to. Well, go ahead. Just don't hurt yourself. Jesus Christ.
I like how she uses them as a table sometimes.
Might as well.
It's kind of impressive.
Have you ever seen anybody do that with their gut?
I always thought being pregnant would be pretty sweet for that reason.
Yeah, they'll put a beer on their stomach.
Seen that with a gut. All right, Dental Babe Jesus has checked in with a clarification on the monkeys being smuggled in to Minnesota from elsewhere.
Sure.
They're not alive, unfortunately.
Oh, dead monkeys.
Yeah.
Oh.
Why are we bringing dead monkeys through customs?
I want, maybe do you grind them up for medicines or something?
Ooh.
I guess we could ask Aaron
It's
Rodgers.
a delicacy.
That's brilliant. That's a brilliant idea. I wonder if we grind them up for medicine. It sounds terrible. What did you say about...
Don't they use them to make spooky things like voodoo? A monkey's foot? Isn't it like a sign of bad luck?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I'll have to look back to old episodes of Scooby-Doo to find out if that's...
I'm going to have to go to Louisiana, do some research.
What were you saying about pregnancy, Ashley?
Oh, I said that always looked like a plus side, a perk of pregnancy is you can use your stomach as a table.
Oh, I thought you were talking about breast enlargement.
No, I've seen pregnant ladies put a little bowl of cereal on their stomach. I'm like,
Sure.
that looks pretty cool.
All right, real quick before we go. Oh, Josh, the way some people choose to make money these days is interesting. What have we covered here on the Stupid News before? Gals who fart or burp or spit into a bag and then they sell it to some maniac living in his dead grandmother's basement, things like that. Here's a new one. And this one sounds like a great way to get yourself molested or murdered in the dead of night. A gal who rents out one side of her damn bed.
No.
Whoa.
She lets some yahoo lay next to her while she prays to God she'll live to see the next sunrise.
Yeah, I've been checking the obituaries. This seems pretty dangerous.
Wow, she must be very strapped for cash or just have absolutely no awareness.
It's apparently called hot bedding.
I wonder have you heard of hot cotting? I thought on submarines. That's what in the Navy they called it that because you'd have different shifts.
Oh.
Right, I'd wrap up a shift And then I'd go to bed in where Dana was.
Mhm.
I'd want them to thoroughly clean it if it was you, Dana, because you sleep nude.
I do. Mhm.
That's not right. You sleep nude.
It's perfectly normal.
I thought they called that hot cotting. So I wonder if they're just kind of going off of that.
That could be.
Hot cod also sounds like one of those sex acts you don't want to look up on Urban Dictionary.
Oh, man, I got involved in some hot cotting last night. Should have looked it up.
I need a shower.
Hot bedding. It is, God help me, I'm so tired of saying this. It's the latest social media trend, and it's just become my number one. It's number one on my list of the most ridiculous ways to put yourself in unnecessary danger. 36-year-old gal in Australia, Monique Jeremiah is the name she goes by. She says she's making an extra $600 a month by renting out the unoccupied side of her bed. There's a quote in here you got to hear. Well, first off, she says when COVID hit town, her prior business went belly up. She had to figure out a way to scrape up some monies. She was, I think I understand this to be, she was involved in a company called Diversity Models.
Yeah, she was a founder of it, or something like that.
Which is an agency that specializes in providing curvy, cultural, and mature age models for businesses. What do you mean, like escorts? Is that what that means?
Well, I wonder if they mean, like, if you go to a car show and they have, some people talking about the new vehicles.
I'm a pervert. Okay. I immediately thought that sounded like an escort service.
Well, it could be.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. But here's the quote I wanted you to hear about hot bedding. This is what she says. It takes two people who respect each other's space, values, and boundaries to do hot bedding. Okay. This is the quote. It's just like sharing a room with two beds, only you sleep in the same bed.
Couldn't figure that out.
Completely different.
That's actually not like the other.
Yeah.
That's like a Wapple quote.
Yeah.
With how literal you are at times.
It's like sharing a room with someone with two separate beds, but you just sleep in the same bed. So it's almost the exact same thing, even though those are two totally opposite things.
So we got these two beds in this room. Should we just sleep in the one?
Thank you, all-knowing brotherhood. Hot racking is the term I was thinking of.
Word.
Hot, not hot cotting. Hot racking.
Okay, this gal started her hot bedding business by having her ex-boyfriend pay to sleep in her bed with her. Who is this sucker? He's paying his ex-girlfriend to sleep in the same bed with her?
Sad.
This guy needs to move on.
Yeah.
She knew she could call this sucker, right? Oh, this guy's not over me yet. Hey, Donnie, it's me. Would you pay me $100 to sleep in bed with me so I can get this business started on the internet? Yeah, I suppose I will. What time can I be there? Can I lay a hand on you? No. I'll be there. We can have sex again, right? No. All right, what time?
Her bed's in the middle of this room. I don't like that.
That messes
You're
with
going to
feng
have
shui.
to.
I don't know why it bothers me so much, but I hate it.
You're going to have to elaborate.
Absolutely hate it.
Right in the exact smack dab middle of the room?
Yes.
Well, that's so she can have the cameras and things set up, I would imagine.
I had to sleep like that last night, and I did not like it because of moving. Like, everything is all moved around and weird. And, yeah, that makes you uncomfortable. You need, like, the wall to lean against.
I could sleep.
Wait a minute. Yeah, what are you doing where you need the... or you got to have something to support you like that?
Sometimes I sit up in bed.
You could lean up. You could lean a mattress up against a casket. You know what I mean? I could sleep anywhere.
Does the ex-boyfriend, would he get in trouble if he's like using appliances? Like, hey, you can't use the shower.
That'll cost him $20.
Yeah,
you can't use the stove.
Yeah, that's an add-on cost,
Yeah,
Wapple.
do not put anything in the fridge.
Well, there you go. Making money while you sleep, I guess. Which sounds kind of nice, but...
I would not be sleeping.
I wouldn't be sleeping very well either.
No, for God's sake.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
No, he just sat on the edge of the bathtub and the tub. If he was in some little motel in northern Japan where you couldn't even get in the bathroom, I'm sure then he just in the newspapers. I mean, when the big guy has to take a dump, he takes a dump. We're in Boston. We'd always locker in the same locker room as the Boston Celtics. Andre has to take a the size of the stall where the toilet was real tall because those basketball players are 7 feet tall. And so Andre would go in there and take a dump. Of course, plug the toilet up. And one time he was in there flushing that toilet, I bet, 30 times. And I said, Andre, did that third ever go down? No, boss. He farted. That fart had to be 40, 50 seconds long. It just rumbled out of his head.
Is today Andre the Giant's birthday or the anniversary of his death?
Let me look that up. I don't know.
Because I've bumped into a few websites that are covering Andre the Giant stories.
No.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was one of the stranger ones.
That's Ken Patera right there.
Yep.
Who I believe is still in town here. Ken Patera, Olympic weightlifter before he got into the world of television wrestling, talking about Andre the Giant. And I mean, what a wonderful guy. Legendary stories connected to the life of Andre the Giant. He was gone too soon. Not all the tales about Andre are, how do you say, complimentary. Mm-hmm. Or maybe you would consider this complimentary. Ken Patera is saying there that Andre, who was enormous, 7'4", 500 pounds, he would bust a turd in bathtubs because toilets were too small.
A newspaper.
Sometimes he would roll out newspaper, like he said in Japan, if the toilet, the bathroom was too small for Andre to even walk into, he'd spread out some newspaper. I had that experience once.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, I got a couple old drinking buddies who have shown before that you don't have to be 7'4" and 5 bills to drop ass into a bathtub. But really interesting. I don't know why, but I'm seeing all kinds of stories on Andre.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, this is from a podcast that came out a year ago, the Hannibal TV podcast.
His farts were 40 to 50 seconds long?
Yeah, that's disgusting.
That is pretty disgusting.
I've heard that from smaller people, though. Definitely.
He was once said to have taken the world's biggest poo in an airplane, in the airplane bathroom that left the entire cabin puking. That makes me want to tell my Haystacks Calhoun story, but I don't have time for that right now. There you go, Ken Patera. From St. Paul, I believe. I met him years ago, many years ago. Ran a gym for many. I don't know what he's up to now, but Ken Patera telling that story about Andre. It didn't look like the Twins lineup was going to do jack squat last night in their game with Tampa Bay, but then Willie Castro ups and hits a 2-run dong in the 7th, and the Twins won the effing game by a final of 3-2. They play one more this afternoon against Tampa. It was made official yesterday. The gas bag is out for the season. We got plenty more information on that. And at 7:30, when Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder join us, be listening for a great prank story. A great prank pulled off years ago by a former NHL player. You're going to want to hear that one. But don't go anywhere because Cubbies News is coming up.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, Minnesota. CJ Ham here. Huddle up for a second. You need someone to go the extra yard when your furnace is out? Give the ball to the certified pros at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. They've been at it for 90 years. Ready? Break.
Regular furnace maintenance can be your wallet's best friend, slashing energy bills and warding off those inconvenient breakdowns that seem to strike at the worst moments. Don't leave it to chance. Schedule your tune-up today at standardheating.com.
You loved Lala Kent on Vanderpump Rules. Now get to know her on Give Them Lala.
The Gen Zers, you know, they love to like be Gen Z-y, are calling Margot Robbie mid. On what planet is Margot Robbie a mid? Who's judging this? Like, are women judging it? The people, the forward haircuts.
Yeah.
Don't bring my people into this. The people with the foreheads, babe. We all agree that she's a 10.
Yes. Give Them Lala wherever you listen.
Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
When I first got the call from my husband, I almost felt like I couldn't speak. My whole body like locked up. It was definitely a really proud mom moment.
Just so amazed at how strong he was and how wise he was in that moment. I always want him to know that he is a hero.
Austin McMillan, 12-year-old Florida boy. He sprung into action last week when he noticed a man in danger of drowning. And he said he learned life-saving CPR from watching the hit series Stranger Things.
Wow.
Austin and his behavioral therapist, Jason Paquette, were swimming in a pool when Paquette attempted to see how long he could hold his breath underwater. Turned out that was a very bad idea.
It was like 6 to 5 minutes he was underwater, and I was like, that's way too long. He cannot do that.
I think I passed out in about 30 seconds.
Jesus.
And I don't know why.
A surveillance camera showed Austin recognizing something was wrong, swimming to Paquette and hoisting him to safety in the shallow end of the pool before performing CPR, which he saw on the TV show Stranger Things.
Now, when I tell you, you're going to pinch his nostrils and breathe into his mouth twice. Okay. 1 second, then pause. Now, go.
Both the McMillan and Paquette families are saying that they hope the incident serves as a reminder of two things: the importance of CPR and of teaching children how to dial 911 on locked cell phones. Filming for the final season of the Netflix life-saving sci-fi series has been on hold due to the writer's strike. Before that strike, the stars of Stranger Things had expressed they also felt it was time to wrap up the series.
Just kind of sad that kids learn from Stranger Things. When I was a kid, we learned the right way from Baywatch.
A Tennessee man has pleaded guilty to pointing an AK-47 at Little Caesars employees because his $6 pepperoni pizza was taking too long to cook.
He points the gun up, points it at me. Where's my pizza? I want my pizza now.
Police say 64-year-old Charles Dottie became incensed after being told his pizza would take 10 minutes to prepare. He demanded a free order of crazy bread before briefly leaving the restaurant, which is about 5 minutes from his residence. When he returned to Little Caesars, he was carrying an AK-47, which he first pointed at a female worker who was on her first day of the job. When another employee sought to leave the restaurant, he asked, "Where in the hell are you going?"
Oh.
In a bid to get Dottie to leave the restaurant, a female customer who had received her order just handed him her own pepperoni pie. Dottie then fled the restaurant before Knoxville officers arrived.
Disbelief that someone would do that over a 10-minute wait on a $6 pizza. We are not always hot and ready. Never freaking listen to that. We are not always hot and ready.
He was subsequently arrested and charged with aggravated kidnapping and aggravated assault.
What in the hell is wrong with this one?
Police in Ohio were called to a McDonald's where a car reportedly struck a customer's vehicle and left the scene. Soon afterward, the car was seen driving through the grass at a nearby restaurant, then going off the road, through a concrete ditch, and then ending up in a yard. Deputies charged the driver, 28-year-old Damian Pereira of Albuquerque, with operating a vehicle under the influence and hit and run. They say his behavior escalated, screaming and headbutting the cage in the cruiser, then at the jail, allegedly urinating in a trash can, and finally kicking a corrections officer in the face.
Kick somebody up in the face, huh?
That's a reach.
His wife showed up.
Josh will show you how to do it.
Yeah, they have to be laying down. There's no way I could get my leg up high. Deputies say his wife showed up, and apparently she was arrested for obstructing official business.
Oh, I was hoping she showed up and was disappointed.
No,
she
she
right
obstructed everything. That's what they do.
She got in the way. She was upset. A celebration turned to chaos as a Rhode Island wedding party got into an all-out brawl with police officers. Half a dozen members of the wedding party were arrested early Sunday morning following a melee with cops outside a Newport restaurant. And footage shows the incident escalating from a tense interaction to straight-up combat. In the video, punches by both sides fly and connect. A woman in an orange dress, who police later identified as Alexandra Flaherty, is seen kicking a cop in the penis.
Oh!
Another woman in the wedding party got knocked out cold, hitting the deck when an officer threw her to the ground. In the police report, the cop said the woman was reaching for his firearm.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. You just knocked her out, bro. You just knocked her out, bro.
Well, don't reach for the gun.
Who knocked who out? The cop had to knock that lady out?
Yeah, he took her to the ground, and she got knocked out. You know, that's what happens when you reach for their weapon.
When you reach for
usually.
a cop. And we're going to be shocked by that?
Right. I'm just trying to save my own and everybody else's here life, that's all. Police say the woman, later identified as Rachel Lonick, eventually became conscious and was arrested. They say her husband, David, started the whole thing. He threw a fit after being denied entry to a bar. Footage also shows a man in a suit and tie, who police later identified as Robert Nash, punching a cop in the face, taking him to the ground, and then pummeling him from there. When the dust settled, 3 men and 3 women were arrested and facing criminal charges.
What are we doing here, Cubby?
I don't know. The guy was upset. He was too drunk to get in the bar, I guess. Couldn't handle it.
Just once I would love to be at a wedding where something like this goes down, where it's just chaos.
Then at a wedding in Long Island last Monday, a member of the wedding party bit a cop during a wild brawl among more than 100 guests. Boy, they're getting bit, kicked in the penis. Police say an uninvited guest showed up, and that triggered a chain of events which broke into a large fight, ending with the 22-year-old brother of the bride sinking his teeth into the arm of a police officer. The wedding planning company told reporters they'd never experienced a situation like the Labor Day wedding fiasco in their nearly 35 years of operation. A man's accused of operating a golf cart while intoxicated in the Florida Keys. The Monroe County Sheriff's Office received reports of a drunken driver leaving a Shell gas station at approximately 5 p.m. on Saturday. 20-year-old James Jackson, he was only 20, driving a Key West Golf Club golf cart near mile marker 5 on US 1, also known as the Overseas Highway. Deputies said there were numerous opened and unopened bottles of alcoholic beverages in the golf cart. The roof of the vehicle was dented and bent. Part of the windshield was missing and its front wheels damaged. Sounds like the man may have stolen the golf cart, as police said they're investigating reports of earlier damage done to the Key West Golf Club course, as well as a stolen cart.
I know a guy who got a Dewey on a golf cart. It's pretty good times.
A lunchtime ride in the family car on Interstate 15 in Utah to pick up tacos was abruptly interrupted Saturday when a whirling metal chair part crashed into the windshield. The scary event was captured on dash cam, recording the view through the windshield when the metal struck the passenger side of the glass.
But actually, this is funny. And they kept breathing. Oh! I'm fine. Mommy, what the hell was that?
What the hell?
Should I call the cops? Yeah. I don't. I'll call the police.
I love that before the cops were mentioned, Dad was mentioned. That'd probably be my route, too.
Somehow the glass didn't shatter. And luckily, neither the driver or any of the 4 passengers were seriously injured by the metal chair base.
A car 2 cars over from us ran over it, and we're assuming that when they hit it, it spat out from under their tire. It went over the car next to us and onto our windshield.
The family said the chair base had apparently fallen off a vehicle and was lying in the road 2 lanes over from where the family was traveling.
It happened all super, super quick. Just something flying towards us. Oh, that's going to hit us. What was that? Like, what hit us?
Something similar happened in Maine, where a motorist narrowly escaped injury last week when a piece of metal crashed into her windshield and came within inches of her face. The 21-year-old motorist from New Hampshire was following a vehicle that ran over metal debris on the road, sending it flying into a Wrangler on the Maine Turnpike. It broke through the windshield just above the steering wheel. The sharp piece of metal struck the windshield and shattered the glass, but the motorist was able to safely pull over. Troopers believe the metal was a mechanical part from a truck. Officials said over the years there's been many examples of unsecured loads wreaking havoc on America's roadways. Loads, if I didn't say so. An axe flew through a windshield and nearly killed a driver. A steel beam, yet another axe. A sheet of plywood turned guillotine, sadly.
Oh.
And many more.
Oh, no.
A mysterious yellow line running down the middle of Interstate 95 southbound from Jacksonville to St. Augustine, Florida, is causing Florida drivers and traffic officials to be confused.
Wasn't sure which way was the line to go on.
Most people, especially if they're out of town, they're not really looking at if that's the line that goes where it's supposed to go at. They're trying to get to their destination.
It's a little bit confusing. If I didn't already know what this was when we left, I'd be a little worried.
The line, which has been there since Friday, spans 23 miles and crosses several lanes.
That's a big mistake.
It's also impacting self-driving cars as well as vehicles with lane departure assist. A Florida Department of Transportation spokesperson said no companies come forward to take responsibility for the paint. In the meantime, FDOT said they have a plan to remove the yellow line.
We are going to have an operation where we take a street sweeper affixed with a wired brush, and we will be going and doing our best to dislodge some of the yellow paint from the roadway.
Officials also warned operators of self-driving vehicles to switch the features off while traveling in the area to avoid their vehicles becoming confused. In more bad news for self-driving vehicles, a hammer-wielding vandal was caught on video smashing a driverless cruise car in San Francisco. As of Monday, the person's identity and motive remained a mystery.
Smash with a hammer, huh?
Boy, they hate those things in San Francisco.
They really do, yeah.
It's becoming a problem.
Yeah, almost on a daily basis.
It
There's stories
reminds
published
me
about that.
of Seth Rogen with those e-scooters in that new TV
from
show.
Platonic on Apple TV Plus.
Like it's that level of rage.
That's a good bit.
Yeah.
I like that bit. Public Works officials in Houston say they don't know how an electronic construction sign came to display a profane message. Drivers captured photos Monday of an electronic sign in Texas bearing an unusual message for commuters. Due to weather, the sign's first message reads, before switching to a message reading, "Go F yourself." Witnesses said the sign displayed the message for hours before being shut off.
Houston Public Works says it doesn't operate that sign, and in fact, they can't find the owner. That's what they say. So a city inspector turned it off.
A Public Works employee said part of the sign that controls the message is located inside an attached box, indicating the person responsible either has clearance to unlock it or enough experience with the equipment to know how to open it without being granted access.
That's fun.
Due to weather, pause, go F yourself. One person's behind bars after stealing a large excavator and smashing through the wall of a Florida Walmart. Police in Gainesville said the suspect jumped behind the controls of a large excavator belonging to Watson Construction before driving it around the area and taking out several power poles. The suspect then drove the heavy machinery through the wall of a nearby Walmart, lodging the machine's arm in the building's facade. Shortly after sharing news of the first incident, officers located a storage unit about half-mile away. The suspect also drove through. No injuries were reported, and the suspect was taken into custody. Then in Pennsylvania, a resident discovered someone had entered their home while they were away and flooded it on purpose. While inside, the person clogged a sink in the upstairs bathroom and turned the water on, causing it to overflow and leak through the floor.
You did it again, didn't you? You left the water running, didn't you?
Harry, it's our calling card. All the great ones leave their mark. We're the wet bandits.
Additionally, someone placed an outdoor garden hose through the window on the ground level, allowing water to flow into the interior.
Dude, I think I'd rather have you steal everything I own.
Yeah.
Officials didn't confirm whether or not anything was taken from the home. During their investigation, they pointed to 21-year-old Dylan Getz as their suspect. No motive was provided.
Oh, that pisses me off. Because water problems are one of the worst damn things you can encounter when you're a homeowner.
Dude.
I mean, I have come close to madness in the past when I've had water issues, water in the basement type stuff.
Oh, man.
Holy
I can
smokes.
attest.
Absolutely nuclear. I've gone completely where my friends and the closest people in my life have looked at me as if to say, you need to go to an asylum right now. That's the level of rage.
Yeah, we had to have the back of our house reframed with how bad it was in our house. Everything. It's terrible.
I once had the wet vac going for 8 consecutive hours.
Yeah,
trying to keep up with the water coming into I thought I was going to cut my own head off.
Yeah, me and some of my roommates, we had that happen to us 2 years ago, and it was a lot of fun all night just sitting on top of a shop vac and then throwing the water outside.
Yep, 8 consecutive hours. I didn't have anything to eat. I didn't take a whiz. I didn't have anything to drink because I couldn't. 8 straight hours. It's probably the greatest athletic accomplishment of my life.
And you've had some good ones.
And I have had some great ones, Dana, is how you say it.
Yes.
Great ones.
Chucky, the hit sci-fi series, is returning for its 3rd bloody season this October. And with less than a month to go till this horrifying premiere, you can now text Chucky to join his, quote, army.
Have you had enough Chucky yet, Josh, or are you still on board?
I don't really watch much of it, so I can't say I'm sick of it.
You're all right one way or the other?
Yeah, I kind of want to watch this series. Ashley, do you watch it? It seems right up your alley.
No, but I scrolled past it yesterday, and I put it on my mental list of things I have to watch.
I've heard from a lot of people that it's really good.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
I've only seen the first movie. I haven't gotten past that. I didn't see Bride of Chucky or any of the other ones.
Good.
How does he do all of these evil things when he's just this tiny little kid?
It's inspirational, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really is.
If you can put your mind to it, you can also become a murderous serial killer doll.
I never thought of it that way, but I suppose you could look at it as inspirational.
Chucky took to social media to call upon his fan base to join him. The famous possessed doll wrote, "My fellow a-holes, major campaign reveal coming soon. So text me at 201 1-800-500-3347 now to join the Chucky party. If you're brave enough to text that number, Chucky will shower you in curse words and threaten you to watch his show. But he'll also be kind enough to send you a link to his new community page where you can sign up for more updates on the latest blood-soaked season. Chucky Season 3 premieres on Sci-Fi and USA Network October 4th, and plenty of time for Halloween. Each new episode will stream the next day on Peacock. The morning show Season 3 premieres today on Apple TV+. This season, on the Emmy-winning drama series centered on the cutthroat world of television news, viewers see the newsroom get locked down by hackers as UBA faces a cyber attack. The star-studded ensemble of Steve Carell, Jennifer Aniston, Billy Crudup, and Reese Witherspoon, that's just singular, adds another big name in Season 3 with John Hamm.
Oh, I love that show.
Also today, the animated movie Elemental makes its Disney Plus debut. Former Vikings quarterback Brad Johnson, 55 today. Megadeth frontman Dave Mustaine, performing at Mystic Lake Casino on the 30th, turns 62. Hot and spicy, crunchy, nutty, tasty, chewy Jesus text in hoping for a sympathy shout-out to his girlfriend, sassy Raiders fan Jesus. He said she was stung on the back of her arm by a bee this past weekend. And although she's not allergic, she is acting like she's going to die. Our sympathies to you both. And that's 93X News.
Care 11's Randy Shaver.
Big time onions. Goodness.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
No, he's down. He's down. No. It's his ankle. Holy. Who is the backup? Richard Todd or Ken O'Brien? Wilson still plays there?
Yeah. Yes, he's still there. He's the first round pick last year.
I didn't know they had any other quarterback besides Aaron Rodgers. That's the only quarterback I thought they had on the entire roster.
So there's a loud roar when Rodgers leaves the game hurt in the first quarter. And the mood has changed considerably. That is because the Jets just won the game on a long touchdown in overtime. You could take a look. This is the reaction from a bar where people are realizing the bar tabs they've been racking up all night, thinking, certainly with Rodgers hurt, the bar was going to be paying that tab. It is setting in. They are going to have to go to the bar and pay that tab.
Oh, I hear you. So that was how the Manning family reacted to the gas bag going down?
Peyton didn't know they had another quarterback.
I love talking about old quarterbacks like Richard Todd and Ken O'Brien. That's my jam right there. All right, fine. We can start off with that kind of talk. But first, our guests have arrived, just like the acclaimed. Our guests have arrived. Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder. What's going on, fools?
Good morning.
Good morning. Hate to say this, is there a major clicking going on?
Yeah. See?
I don't hear it.
No, I don't hear
it. So Randy was saying that he can hear some buzzing noises, and now Brad's saying, we don't even hear anything.
It's a big-time clicking, like I can only hear the clicking.
Maybe you're losing your mind.
Maybe.
It could be
so
a sign.
You guys can't hear it, but I can, and so can Brad.
I can't hear anything. I can't hear anything other than your beautiful voices.
Well, I wonder if the listeners can hear that. I guess we'll be.
I guess we'll find out pretty soon.
Probably would have text, but maybe.
Well, can you make do, or do you want to hang up and call back again?
Well, for Brad, it's not going to matter. I think it's on my end.
All right, is it going to drive you insane?
Well, no, I'll get through it, as I told Wapple. But there's obviously, I think there's something amiss here.
Can you try to call me back just to see once, because it's pretty bad on my end.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
That was it.
Talk to you soon.
Can I comment?
Okay.
Go ahead, Randy.
I was going to say, can I comment on that last piece of audio? That is one of the funniest stories I've heard in a long time. That's a Milwaukee bar that put out a promotion that if the Jets lose the game, they will pick up the bar. If Aaron Rodgers starts the game and the Jets lose, they'll pick up the bar tab.
Right.
And the mood in that bar was amazing. When Rodgers goes down, everybody starts drinking like crazy. They just start piling up the barbell.
They had a riot.
Yeah, and then the Jets win the game at the end in overtime. And the look on the people's faces when they realize they've got to pay their own barbell is amazing.
Just destroyed.
That was
Such
pretty
a
good.
funny story. It's just amazing.
We mentioned that a couple weeks ago, and that story busted loose that this Milwaukee bar was going to, have some fun with Karen starting for the Jets. This was one of the weird stats about. I mean, that was really bizarre on Monday night. Dude's out there playing his first regular season possession. He was on the field for a total of 75 seconds.
Yeah, 4 plays.
He falls down. His season is over, and maybe his career. But one of the weird stats, I mean, aside from just reading that he played for 75 seconds. That's it. That's his season, 75 seconds. He made $1 million per second.
Oh, that just...
That's a gas bag.
That's a good hourly wage right there.
Is that like the guarantee money if he gets hurt kind of thing?
Yeah.
Whatever the clause is?
I'm not sure the technicalities behind it, but just know that Karen made $75 million for that 75 seconds. $1 million a second. He didn't complete a pass, but speaking of that, he started the game. See, the bar maybe should have been aware of this. Well, wait a minute. Okay, I'm forgetting how the promotion worked. Forget about the bar. This is an odd stat, though, about Karen Rodgers. Appearance on Monday night. Since he did start the game, the win is officially attributed to him. So now he has won his last 10 starts on Monday Night Football.
Sure. Sure.
I didn't know that. All you got to do is play the
It's
first
not like baseball where you got to pitch 5 innings in order to earn the win.
Damn,
right?
that's kind of a shame for a backup quarterback who might come in. And I know that the MILF man didn't exactly set the world on fire, but let's say he had.
Yeah, but he earned that.
What?
I said he earned the win.
Well, not officially speaking. Not officially speaking.
No. Zach Wilson earned it, though. I mean, he played the 99% of the game.
So as everybody knows, it was made official yesterday. The gas bag is out for the season after his Achilles gave way on him.
I feel so bad for those fans.
That does suck.
Oh, my goodness.
Damn if it isn't kind of funny.
Yeah, the team that I've faced in fantasy football this past weekend, their name was even like ayahuasca connoisseurs. So like they really love the Packers, and they started Aaron Rodgers, and they would have destroyed me if Aaron Rodgers actually played the whole game. But I beat them by like 5 points.
Man, can that be our last fantasy football update for the season?
Maybe.
No, but that's fine.
People are saying no.
Now another weird story connected to what happened on Monday night. Twitter, or whatever it's called now, Twitter X or something like that. It's just called X?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So how do they refer to the little messages that people put up there? Are those still referred to as tweets?
I still call them tweets.
I still call them tweets.
People are still going to call it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've heard people say X's.
Yeah, that doesn't.
But most people say
weird.
tweets.
So they've gone ahead, Twitter or X or whatever it is, they've banned a user who predicted Karen's injury hours before it happened.
Oh, my.
This is true, I guess.
Why would they ban it?
I don't really know. Well, there's some theories here I can throw your way.
Sure.
A Twitter dude named Daddy Zaslav. Any of you familiar with him?
No.
Do you trade messages back and forth with Dad? He accurately predicted the injury. Couple hours before the game, he tweeted, pardon me?
He predicted an Achilles injury?
Yes.
Wow.
This is what he tweeted. Aaron Rodgers is going to tear his Achilles on a rain-drenched field in 2.5 hours, is what he said. And and he was damn near spot on with the time even. But then he was suspended from Twitter X.
Before the game?
No.
Okay.
After the injury happened.
I think I saw a glimpse of this tweet, but when you refresh your page, it goes super fast. Like it will just, like how our text messages, things will just disappear. And So I think I saw a glimpse of this before he got suspended.
Yeah, if you go to his account, it's suspended.
No way.
It's unclear why he was banned, but there are some theories. Some claim the account became vulgar. And I think what they mean by that is
Is that the response by people?
Yes, he made this prediction, and then all kinds of Karen haters jumped up on his account and said, F him, don't care about Rodgers, F him, glad he got hurt. And this Daddy Zaslav was saying F you back to all these people. Apparently, he's a Karen fan, even though he made this terrible prediction. And so all of the F-bombs led to the banning. Does that make sense? Did they not allow you to curse on Twitter?
Maybe like too much hate.
Too much hate?
Yeah.
Others believe he was impersonating a Warner Brothers executive named David Zaslav, whoever or whatever that means.
Oh yeah, they're big on having your correct name and so forth. The owner of Twitter has been like deleting people's accounts if they have like a fake name. Say you went on Twitter and you named yourself Undertaker. He'd be like, no, you're not Undertaker.
I guess a bunch of websites, maybe something's changed with this story since yesterday, but a bunch of websites like the New York Post have been trying to reach out to Twitter X and ask them why this man was banned, but they haven't gotten back to him as far as I know. But how about that? I mean, not the banning of the dude, who cares? But the dude got up there and predicted an Achilles injury.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
I would think I have some sort of power.
Yeah, they'll go to my head really quickly. Start making other bold predictions.
Oh, yeah.
I will go on a date with Anna Kendrick.
Dang it. I bet that'll end just as poorly, Dan.
Yes.
Wapple just handed me a note. Brad's left for good? He's not coming back?
Yeah, Brad got off. That clicking's just way too loud, he said.
Okay. He called back and it was still clicking?
That's what it sounds like, yes.
Oh, that's terrible. I'm sorry, Brad Ryder.
Well, I've got it too. I'm gonna.
Yeah, but you're getting paid.
Randy's a gamer.
Yes, I am.
Oh, hell yeah.
Beer money.
I have one headphone on and one headphone off.
This is how Randy makes his beer money.
Guaranteed contract.
All right, so does anybody buy the idea that the New York Jets are going to stick with the MILF man?
No.
I wish they would.
I
do too, because I like the guy.
I think they're going to find a veteran backup of some type, but I think he's going to start for them.
Okay. So you think he's going to continue to start? They'll have a veteran backup in the wings in case he completely wets the bed.
Sure.
But if he continues to do well, you think that the MILF man will stick around? They're not just going to up and straight replace him with.
I don't think he was absolutely terrible the Monday night. I think that they're going to. I mean, they've invested a lot of time and energy and money in the guy, and Rodgers was a good influence for him during camp, and I think you saw that a little bit on Monday. I think they'll stick with him.
All right. I'm cool with that. I like the MILF man.
I mean, it's awful hard to bring somebody in from the outside and put him on the field, 3 days later at that position. That position takes a lot more time to figure out your offense and all the nuances and everything. I got a feeling that they will stick with Wilson until they absolutely can't do it anymore.
I was excited to read some of the ideas that the Jets might have for this veteran backup or straight-up replacement for the MILF man. I love reading some of these names. Well, Randy, first things first, there has been some conversation about Cam Newton getting a phone call.
Oh, God.
I think he'd look cool as hell. Don't you, Cubby, in a Jets uniform? Don't you think?
Why?
But Cam Newton looks cool in anything he puts
Cam
on.
Newton just go away?
No. I mean, isn't New York one of the fashion capitals of the world? Think how fashionable he is at press conferences. He'll fit right in.
I've heard that said before about New York City, it being a fashion capital.
They just had New York Fashion Week, yeah.
Oh, God, you don't have to tell me about New York.
Nick and I go every year.
How about old Cliffy Keebler, the man who tossed up the Hennepin County Fluke 3-4 years ago?
That's legitimate.
He's currently the third string quarterback in Houston. Other names that I've been reading about, it's not going to be the damn lunatic, so please don't even.
No, it's not. He's done.
Carson Wentz. We mentioned this yesterday.
God, just let him stay away.
Why can't?
No. He's had multiple opportunities to try.
You don't like him either, huh?
I love Randy's hatred for old backup quarterbacks.
It's not a hatred. It's just, I mean, for the Jets' sake, don't do that. It's not.
It is a bit of a reach.
We mentioned this yesterday. Joe Flacco, my homeboy.
Yeah.
I love Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll pull this guy out of the television booth, Matt Ryan.
No, I don't think Matt Ryan has any interest in doing that.
Maybe they'll pull Phillip Rivers out of church.
No.
Or the maternity ward.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's too busy banging, man.
or Drew Brees. What does he do now?
TV somewhere.
That's a good question.
I thought he
but
quit
I think
TV.
Oh, maybe he did. I can't remember.
I don't. Well, he's not working for NBC. I don't think. I think he's been too. I think he's too far out of the game right now.
Ooh, Drew Brees.
Yeah.
What about Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite? You know, he could just throw a ball over a mountain.
I would like to see Drew Brees just to see how long his hair is now. All of a sudden, how does his hair keep getting better?
Yeah, that dude's hairline changed
I think
every
if the
week.
Jets want to figure something, they're going to have to trade for somebody. They're going to have to do something.
Well, those who know the gas bag best apparently say they don't believe he'll retire.
That would be insane if he didn't.
You know, good for him. It's a long road. The Achilles injury is a long road. But, yeah, I mean.
Yeah, he doesn't want to go out like that.
Yeah.
Some of our listeners are saying Colin Kaepernick has been in contact with the Jets.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah, wasn't that more one-sided?
His team reached out to the Jets.
He's been out of the game for 7 years.
Are you kidding?
It's been that long already?
Yeah, I don't see.
That blows my mind.
See that happening.
That blows my mind that 7 years have gone by. All right, so the other quarterback that played in that Monday night game, Josh Allen, is he garbage?
Boy,
no,
that's a good question.
Not.
There's good Josh and there's bad Josh, and Monday night was definitely bad Josh.
Yeah.
Well, when's the last time you saw good Josh? Let me read you a stat here.
Last year.
Let me read you a stat. Let's say you read this stat about Kirk Cousins. You'd probably say, garbage. But seriously, since week 1 of last season, Josh Allen has played 19 games. In those 19 games, he has thrown 20 interceptions and has lost 17 fumbles.
Okay, but how many games did they win?
I don't know. I don't follow that kind of thing.
Well, they're one of the better teams in the AFC. Dana's right. Josh Allen can be combustible at times. He can make bad mistakes. He can turn the ball over. But
the Vikings won 13 games last year, but people still overall think Kirk Cousins is garbage.
Yeah, well, I think they feel like he's serviceable. I don't think they feel he's garbage.
Is Josh Allen just getting a pass because he's cute and now he does television commercials?
Josh Allen is very talented, and I think he's a fabulous football player.
20 interceptions and 17 fumbles in 19 games, Randy Shaver. I'm telling you, if this guy wasn't Josh Allen, you'd say he was garbage.
I disagree. The guy can beat you with his legs and his arms, and his arm. Cousins can't do that. Cousins is not going to run the football like Allen can.
Cubby's sticking with garbage.
Oh, I'm not saying he's garbage, but that stat was kind of shocking.
Yeah,
it's funny because people read all these stats, like you're saying. People read all these stats about Cousins, and it's like, wow, he's an incredible quarterback, but nobody thinks he's good. Well, I should say good. Nobody thinks he's, an elite quarterback.
I think Randy put it best when he said that Cousins is serviceable. Like he's not going to completely F it up, but he's also not going to go put out that masterclass 6 touchdown performance.
He's a veteran quarterback that has enough experience and certainly does have talent to lead your team. Obviously, they won 13 games last year, and a lot of it was because of some of the plays he made. But Josh Allen is at a different level. He's at the same level, to me, close to the level of Jalen Hurts, close to the level of Mahomes. He's in that.
Yeah, he can do a little bit of everything.
It's interesting, though. I mean, here's Reefer Van Jesus just texted in and says, "Hey, look at you, Nick, parachuting in for Captain Death Rocks." I can't wait for that moron to leave town. But I think it's a fair comparison. I think it's an interesting comparison.
I don't disagree. I think it is an interesting comparison.
What are Death Rock's stats since week 1 of last season? Has he thrown?
wouldn't know.
In 17, what did I say again?
Well, I don't know.
In 19
you could
games.
probably easily look up his interceptions for last year.
In the last 19 games, I bet he doesn't have 20 interceptions and 17 fumbles lost. Whoever put this up on Twitter said this is a fact that a lot of folks refuse to come to terms with, and I think we're seeing evidence of that right now, aren't we, Cubby?
This is an interesting fact from a listener. Josh Allen has more touchdown throws to Jets players than Aaron Rodgers does.
Yeah, he threw some bad picks. He was forcing it on Monday.
What do you think of this? Some people, it sounds like he's been forcing it for a year. You refuse to come to terms with this.
Yeah, no, I'll ride and die with this guy forever. I absolutely, unabashedly love the guy.
Some NFL fans think that Josh Allen is too distracted by his girlfriend.
Who's his girlfriend?
Haley Steinfeld.
Yeah.
Someone named Haley Steinfeld. They say she's a pop singer. Mm-hmm. I've never heard of her.
Also in the movie, the Pitch Perfect series, too.
The what?
Pitch Perfect.
Pitch
I
Perfect?
never saw the second one. She's a pretty girl.
Oh, that's for sure.
It says here, Josh Allen's fantasy owners are going to file a class action lawsuit against Haley Steinfeld. They think they're ruining him, just like Jenna Jameson. What was the name of the gal that dated Tony Romo?
Jessica Simpson.
She's only
Wasn't
26.
Jenna Jameson.
They're very different careers, those two.
Yeah, no kidding.
Cousins has 15 interceptions in that same streak.
Okay, so that's almost the same.
They're about the same.
Yeah.
They're about the same. You guys want to believe there's a difference between Captain Death Rocks and Josh Allen? There is not.
No.
Well, who would you rather have right now on your team?
I'd rather have Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just would.
It's all right.
Guy's younger. He's got more mobility.
You can throw it further than 15 yards down.
Yeah, I'm just now realizing that Josh Allen is only 26. That's incredible.
Yeah. All right.
He's so young.
Another person in the Brotherhood says a QB like Josh Allen can turn the ball over 2 times a game if he throws 4+ touchdowns to go with it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe that's the better stat to look at, Nick, is
I'll go with that.
touchdown yards and wins as opposed to...
I'm just looking to bust balls. I couldn't possibly care less about anything on planet Earth.
You're always looking for a way to...
Now, here's something that'll get Randy Shaver psyched. There's a social media debate and this kind of fallout from the gas bag and his Achilles giving way on him. Should bets on injured players be refunded by sports books? I say absolutely not. Injuries are a part of the game just as much as a fumble or an interception or a quarterback sack or anything.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I mean, as much as if I had money on the Jets or had money on, some sort of prop bet on Rodgers and I lost that, it's part of the game.
Right.
It's just part of the game. It
Social-
sucks, but it's part of the game.
Social media dorks have been going back and forth.
The one thing I would say, an example of something else, though, would be before the game starts, starting pitchers, this happens all the time in baseball, where a starting pitcher, is scheduled to start, and then all of a sudden they make a last-second change at starting pitcher, and before the game even starts. That you should be able to try to figure out a way to be able to either eliminate that game from a parlay or something like that.
Agreed. Okay.
That's different. Once the game has started and a player gets hurt, that's part of the game.
Yeah, the bet's live at that point.
Yep, that's right.
The majority, if Rodgers didn't start, then that would be a totally different story.
Well, you probably wouldn't play him. I mean, if you're talking about just the Jets in general, it doesn't matter. But if you're using Rodgers as part of a prop bet or something, and he doesn't start, you probably wouldn't play him anyway.
Didn't you have a bet that you had going, Wapple, for Rodgers this past weekend?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, what was it?
I didn't get refunded.
Oh, you had a prop bet on his performance.
Yeah, I had, and it was like, it was a really good one too because he only had to get half a total yard passing and rushing.
Oh my God!
Yeah, so
that's horrible.
It was just
that's
brutal.
awesome.
Oh my God, Wapple, that's horrible.
It was brutal.
I feel like I should pay you money for that because I feel bad.
The fourth play, I was like, "You've got to be kidding me!"
Wait a minute.
That's
got to
brutal.
be kidding me.
He only had to get half a total.
It must have been some sort of a special
because
or
it was
something.
It was a special, and it was like, "Hey, you can't pass up this."
Oh.
Aaron Rodgers is going to get, he's got to get more than half a yard.
I mean, are we talking big money here?
No.
That's got to be the worst
some
loss.
people could have put big money on something like that.
Totally
Absolutely.
could've. Someone could have put $100 down on that.
That's probably a prop bet in which you have to use at least 3 total.
Yeah.
And one of them is that.
Yes.
So you're looking at all I've got to do is find 2 other prop bets that I feel comfortable with. I'm going to win it.
All you needed was a half a yard of total offense?
That's crazy.
And I got my other 2 bets right.
Oh, my God.
Are you kidding me?
It doesn't matter if you got those other 2 bets right, Wapple. You are a loser.
That's just brutal.
That's
if they'd allow it, I would put my house on that bet.
Yeah.
Half a yard. F me. I've never heard of anything so.
It is.
That's the worst loss I've ever heard in gambling history.
So that is what you call a bad beat, man.
Yeah.
That's a bad beat.
But like Randy said, it's part of the game. I didn't have any complaints with it.
That's why they call it gambling.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right, Wapple?
That's just me. That's just my luck.
You jinxed them.
Yeah. I was like, half a yard passing and rushing? He's got the... Oh.
Well, I'm going to tune in at the 5th snap here. Where's Mr. Rogers?
Waffles holding a sign that says half a yard. Half a yard. Half a yard.
That's one of the most incredible stories I've ever heard. I don't know, what the hell? Why were you sitting on this information?
Because I didn't know if I should talk about it with what I've got going on,
I don't know what you have going on or what that means.
You've got nothing going on.
Advertisements.
Well, then let's not talk any further about it if you're nervous. This is interesting. Back to that complete stiff of a quarterback, Josh Allen, who's never going to win anything because he's basically Kirk Cousins on the East Coast. Haley Steinfeld, his girlfriend, was in the True Grit remake with Jeff Bridges. She played the little girl.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, she was terrific in that.
She was very good in that.
It's one of my favorite all-time movies is the remake of True Grit.
And I think the original Toolmaker Jesus kind of settled the Cousins versus Josh Allen debate. He said Josh Allen's great and all, but he doesn't have a single dollar of Kohl's cash like Cousins does.
Boy, your Kohl's cash joke I see everywhere now. People have really embraced that. Obviously, it made it into quarterback on Netflix.
And even his wife, too. I saw she tweeted, there's a box sitting on their doorstep, and she said, $80 worth of Kohl's clothes in this box. See what Kirk is going to wear on Sunday.
Cute.
And you get nothing for that.
I get nothing.
Still better than what Wapple's got going on over there.
But it wasn't the gambling site's fault. It was, God, my stupid luck.
Well, yeah, no one's blaming the site.
Yeah, half a yard.
Why the hell would anyone blame the website?
I don't know.
All right, maybe we can go this way for a few minutes. Maybe we can try this. The greatest fictional football player of all time. The greatest fictional football player of all time. Anyone come to mind? For me, it's instant. It's instant for me, but I'll wait on you guys so you can think about it. From the greatest fictional, if anyone says the friggin' water boy, I will come over there and I will make love to you.
Oh, Waterboy.
You son of a bitch.
Waterboy.
You don't count in this. You know that you and I can do it anytime we want to.
What about Charlie Brown? Does he count?
Well, he tried like hell.
Yeah. For in terms of effort, yeah.
Waffle, I saw you chomping at the bit over there.
What about Ogie Oglethorpe?
No, fictional football player, you bastard.
I thought you said fictional sports player.
No, sports player. No wonder you lose bets.
I've got a guess for you, Nick.
Who do you think I would say the greatest fictional football player?
Runner-up, I'll say Al Bundy.
Oh, wow. I have to be honest. I never even thought about Al Bundy, but he was terrific. Absolutely.
And I'm going to guess Paul Crewe from The Longest Yard.
That was my guess.
Played by Adam Sandler.
Yes. Yes.
Let's not do this again.
Turkey.
You know, if we're talking about Paul Crewe in The Longest Yard, we're talking about the late, great Burt Reynolds. Maybe one of the coolest people that's ever lived.
He was cool.
But Paul Crewe. Hands down, mean machine. Mean machine. Game ball. Well, here are some of the names that were mentioned in this article about the greatest fictional football players, unless anyone else wants to spit one at me real quick. Randy, you haven't said jack squat.
You know what? I can't think of one that would qualify.
Stefan Georgievich from All the Right Moves, played by Tom Cruise. He was a tough D-back. His coach was a prick. His girlfriend was Leah Thompson. Wah, wah, wee, wah. All right?
Yes.
Some of these I never saw it. Any Given Sunday, never saw it.
Oh, I like that movie.
That was a fun movie.
But the character here is Luther Shark LaVey. I don't know who played that role.
LL Cool J.
LL Cool J.
Mm-hmm.
From the Adam Sandler Longest Yard, the character named Meggett.
Oh, played by Nelly, a little running back, very shifty.
Oh, yes.
Played by who?
Nelly, the rapper.
Nelly.
Mm-hmm.
Never saw it. Spike Hammersmith from The Little Giants.
Oh, Spike. I was going to say Becky Icebox O'Shea for Little Giants. She was great.
Well, she might be in here somewheres.
That's a great one.
I'm not going to mention the water boy. Jonathan Moxon from Varsity Blues.
Varsity Blues, Mox.
Backup quarterback. He took this. He went there, and they threw the ball. His coach was a prick, too.
His coach was a prick, too. He came in week 1 when Lance Harbor went down with an ACL injury.
How about Sunshine from Give Me the Titans? Or Remember
Oh,
the
yeah.
Titans?
He could sling it.
Gimme the Titans.
Remember the Titans.
You should remember that it's called Remember the Titans.
You're starting to sound like me, Randy.
Yeah,
Stupid, overrated Forrest Gump.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Also, Any Given Sunday, Steamin' Willie Beeman. Anybody?
Jamie Foxx.
Oh, I like Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, he was
great.
the
about,
quarterback. He was great.
Randy.
How about the receiver, the Show Me the Money movie?
I
Oh,
hated
Jerry
that.
Maguire?
Yes. Awful.
How about
Awful.
That?
It's just,
How about that receiver?
No, Rod Tidwell, played by what's his name?
Come on.
It sucked. You could tell he'd never played football. And since when is the number one wide receiver in the NFL 5'3"? In the friggin' 90s. I hated, what's his name again?
God, I can't think of it.
The actor?
Yeah.
He's like Fred Biletnikoff.
Don't ever compare him to Fred Biletnikoff. What the hell was his name, that actor?
Yeah, I'm looking it up.
He was
right
in.
now.
Cuba
Gooding
Gooding?
Jr., yeah.
Terrible. He was awful in that movie. The whole movie was stupid.
Oh, he wasn't awful.
It was stupid. Ray Finkel makes the list of the greatest fictional football player. Blue Mountain State, Thad Castle, never saw it.
That's a great show. Great show.
Tweeter from Varsity Blues. He was
Yeah.
also way too small to believe he'd be a decent effing wide receiver. Forget Tweeter.
Guy could party, though.
We have that drop that Josh plays from time to time about taking D pictures, and that's Thad Castle.
I don't
From-
know what you're talking about. Taking D pictures. Thad Castle. We'll have to hear it, Wapple. Anyone know what this means? Barney Gorman, the garbage-picking, field goal-kicking Philadelphia phenomenon?
Yeah, I've seen that movie.
Yes.
What is that?
It's Tony Danza movie. It was like a made-for-TV Disney movie.
You knew that one, Randy?
No, I don't.
He was a garbage man, and somebody saw him like kick a bottle or something. Half of my and then all of a sudden he got signed up to play for the Eagles.
What's that? The one with Marky Mark. He was a football
it's a
player.
terrible movie.
Oh, that's based on a true story, though.
Absolutely horribly acted movie. It was called the guy who made the team.
Invincible.
Invincible.
I love that movie.
Brutally bad. Everyone in that movie was bad.
So it's Paul Crewe, and that's about the only fictional football player
I
you
like
like.
Ray friggin' Finkel.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And Al Bundy.
I like
And Al
Stefan
Bundy.
Georgievich, and shut up over there. Coming after me. Friday Night Lights, Tim Riggins, never saw it.
Yeah, he's off.
Oh, yeah,
Speaking
that-
of obscure jerseys that you own, I own a Tim Riggins jersey.
Do you really?
Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday, and I was looking at my closet. I was like, oh yeah, you even have a fictional football player jersey in here.
Here's your Becky Icebox O'Shea.
She was great. Total cutie too.
Uncle Rico. Shane Falco from The Replacements.
That was a fun movie.
Never saw it. There's some others that were texted in here from the brother. Woo! Hood. And they're flying so fast now. I saw a couple I wanted to throw your way. Oh, Randall Pink Floyd from Dazed and Confused.
We never did find out if he played his senior year or not.
Mac Davis and Nick Nolte from North Dallas 40. I like this one too. Jimmy Dix, the wide receiver from the last Cub Scout with Bruce Willis.
Last Boy Scout?
And that comic that you saw and you hated him, Josh.
Damon Wayans.
Yeah.
I really like Damon Wayans, but yeah, he wasn't good that night.
Don't ever say Rudy to me on this program ever again.
I do hate that movie.
Charles Jefferson from Fast Times at Ridgemont High. He destroyed everybody in that club when his car got wrecked. Spicoli and anybody? Fast Times at Ridgemont High? All right.
Oh, we also forgot about Bud from Air Bud, Golden Receiver.
Oh, you can't forget Bud.
Didn't you go to that movie, Nick? I forget how much it cost.
Oh, yeah. It was $5. I brought 3 of my friends.
Oh, yay.
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 Speaking of new movies, Nick, yesterday I watched Midnight Run for the first time. And
are you kidding me?
You were absolutely right. That instantly became one of my favorite movies I've ever seen.
Why can't the rest of you folks be more like Dana?
I have a list.
I recommend movies. This is a thing around here, Randy Shaver.
Dude,
recommend.
I saw Old Henry, though.
You did watch Old Henry Wapple, and I always will remember that.
Yes.
I recommend movies that are usually 20 to 40 years old, and I say, you guys gotta see these, like The Thing. How many years have I been saying, you gotta see The Thing with Kurt Russell? And no one goes and sees The Thing. I've been talking about Midnight Run with the late, great Charles Grodin and Robert De Niro, one of the funniest movies. I bet you haven't even seen it, Randy Shaver.
I have seen it.
You have? Yes. Isn't it wonderful? So you saw it yesterday, Dana, and I was right. It's one of the most enjoyable, fun-ass movies of all time.
I might watch it again today, to be honest with you.
You effing should.
Mm-hmm. It's on Netflix. Anybody wants to check it out. It blew me away. So Charles Grodin, so good in that. My God.
Absolutely. Those guys were great. Well, the Twins lineup was kind of coming off like they weren't going to get jack squat done in last night's game with Tampa Bay. Then here comes Willie Castro, Randy.
Right. Well, I mean, that's all you needed last night. I mean, Joe Ryan threw over 100 pitches in less than 5 innings last night, so it wasn't the best performance. He did strike out 7, but he kept him in the ball game, and that was the key. And the bullpen did the rest, and that's nice to see because we certainly have a lot of questions about whether this bullpen will be able to hold up, especially 3 weeks from now when we get into the postseason. But
3 weeks from now. They did the job last night, didn't they?
Nice win last night. Yeah, it's the first time they've beaten Tampa Bay this year, and they'll get one more crack at them today, and then we'll see how things play out the rest of the way. But, yeah, I mean, it's kind of a weird spot for the Twins right now, right? I mean, they're 7.5 games ahead. The magic number's 10. All they got to do is just survive. All they got to do is just play, and they're going to make the postseason, and they're going to be a division champion, so they know they're going to be at home. So a lot of the pressure's off. It's just a matter of kind of just playing the string here, getting guys ready for what the postseason will look like, especially the pitching staff. I think this is a key 2 weeks here. They kind of get this pitching staff in a place where they feel some confidence and they feel like they can attack hitters and do the things they want to do, because once the postseason starts, you know, it's win or go home. So they're in a good spot. It's not like there's pressure that Cleveland's right on their tail. It's or they have to chase down a team.
Right.
They're kind of in that sweet spot right now where they can
comfortable
work on some things and just play the game and have some fun and know that the postseason's going to be there. And so it was a nice win last night for them, for sure.
Dallas Keuchel
got the win.
Louis was great. Woo. The bullpen was great. Dallas Keuchel gets to start today against a kid named Taj Bradley. Dallas and Taj, it's like we're at a male strip joint. Josh, somebody texted in about the greatest fictional football player. Boy, they really know how to get my blood pressure going. They want to commemorate Sinbad's character, Andre, from the movie Unnecessary Roughness. Another movie that just never should have happened.
That one was really bad.
Wasn't there also somebody on that list from Wildcats? Remember the movie Wildcats?
Goldie Hawn.
I loved Wildcats.
And she got topless, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, there's a scene where she's naked in a bathtub. Of course, I remember that from 86. Wildcats. Yeah. Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson are in the movie as young. They're very young people at that point. I don't remember. I mean, there was a really big, giant, fat player. Every football movie between 1972 and 2017 had to have a really, really fat character.
Oh, yeah, Finch.
Finch.
Yeah.
He had cheeseburgers on the sideline. I can't think of, maybe is that who you were thinking of, Finch?
I think so, yeah. I remember there was somebody on that list. That's who it was.
I'll watch anything with Goldie Hawn in it, Randy.
Ditto.
me too.
Jesus Christ. And her daughter.
Hubba,
All right.
hubba.
Everyone loves a good prank. I'm excited to get to this prank story. Randy loves a good prank. Everyone loves. A pal of mine, you guys probably remember me telling this story. A pal of mine once put on a disguise and had me convinced he was a maniac looking to break into my house, and we came very close to shooting him to death. Those are the kind of pranks I'm talking about, elaborate stuff. This buddy of mine had a job at the time where he had access to makeup and wigs and mustaches and things like that. He was working for a television station, and he shows up at my house well, not the middle of the night. It was dark. It was 8, 9 o'clock in the winter. He shows up dressed up in all of these wigs and things, and I didn't recognize him. He acted really shady, and we came very close to shooting him. Still love revisiting that story at the bar now and again. Apparently, former NHLer Jeremy Roenick once pulled off an elaborate prank that some say is the greatest of all time. Say what you will about Roenick as a guy, but this is a keeper. And here's the story. In August of 2008, Roenick was getting ready for his second season with the San Jose Sharks. He was hanging out in Las Vegas with a couple fellow players, Torrey Mitchell and Devin Setaguchi. Some of you might recall those names as well. They're playing cards in a casino. They were approached by a mysterious man who offered them an invite to a private party. They took him up on it, hopped into a limo that escorted them to this mansion where the party was being held. Now, as Torrey Mitchell tells the story, he and Setaguchi detected a strange vibe at the party. It was a black tie affair. The host described the event as a life force party. A hot mama wearing only a pair of little underwears, described as the main event of the party, greeted everyone at the door. So you can understand so far, I think, why Setaguchi and Mitchell might have been saying, what the hell kind of party is this?
Yeah.
We got a lady in just a little pair of thong underwears. They call it a life force party. Everyone's wearing a black tie. They called the lady the main event of what is this? Mitchell and Setaguchi were starting to try to figure out a way to make an early exit from this party, but Roenick was able to convince them to settle down and just try to have a good time. Eventually, a waitress brought the players a couple of shots, and the shot glasses appeared to be filled with human blood.
Whoa.
Gosh.
Mitchell said he thought they'd rolled into some kind of human sacrifice party. And sure as hell, a couple minutes later, that hot lady with just her little pair of thong underwears, the main event lady, got wheeled past the boys on a gurney, and it appeared that she had been filleted with a knife from the neck down to the waist, and some of her internal organs were laid out.
This lady comes in, bra and panties. I'm like, what is going on? They open these sliding doors. They wheel out like it's a hospital bed, basically. But and there's a big drape over it. They rip the drape off. It's her. She's filleted from the neck down to the waist. And they had like her intestines, like her heart might have still been beating. By the time I could take my first breath, JR has beelined it for the front door. The bouncers grab him, take a knife out, and just start going to town on him. And I'm freaking out, and I just take off. I left Settleton for dead.
That's Mitchell right there.
Wow.
Roenick jumped up, ran for the door. A bouncer stops him and starts stabbing Roenick, and he's begging for his life. Mitchell's completely horrified. He left this part out, but he also noticed that suddenly every other person at the party had fangs and red eyes. And he'd seen enough. The poor bastard, he jumped headfirst through the nearest open window. He landed on the grass outside, and he ran away as fast as he could. Then his phone rings. He didn't answer it. He wanted to get as far away from this party as he possibly could. He finally answered his phone. It's Roenick on the other end of the line laughing his ass off.
That's too far, but I love the commitment.
Apparently, Roenick was a big fan of the show Scare Tactics. Did you guys ever watch that program?
No. Yeah, I had to stop. because some of them were too mean. Like something like this, where like there was one where they made a guy think he murdered his uncle.
Oh my God!
You know, he's just inconsolable. He thought he killed his uncle. There's another one where they had a babysitter that thought the kid she was babysitting was eaten by a monster.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's not even funny.
You're traumatized for life.
So Roenick says he thinks this is the best prank ever done in the history of the NHL, and I don't know how you can argue with him. My God, he's hired actors, rented a mansion. There's allegedly video of this entire thing, but the story is the San Jose Sharks supposedly went out of their way to ensure it was never released to the public.
Ah, lame.
I also liked that show Scare Tactics quite a bit. I did. Wasn't the host Tracy Morgan, maybe?
He became the host later.
Oh, at first it was
the chick from 90210.
Yeah, the black-haired
Shannon Doherty?
Yeah. The one that I saw that I thought, okay, that's too much. Dude gets hired by a moving company. So there's two, established veterans of the movie company, and then this 19-year-old kid who just got hired. All the hidden cameras and everything going. They fooled the kid, first day on the job, they fooled him into riding in the bed of the moving truck. Yeah, it's kind of uncomfortable with three of us up front, if you don't mind. Just, would you ride in the bed? For now, we'll get to where we have to go, and then later we'll figure something. So the kid's like, okay, fine. And he's just sitting in the back, enclosed bed of this moving truck. And, the cameras and the audio, he's just kind of whistling to himself. I think he might have said at one point, what the hell am I doing back here? But anyway, he's new, and he's going along with it. They stopped the truck on a set of railroad tracks, or at least that's what they led the kid to believe. After a certain amount of time, they stopped the truck. They're playing fake noises of, railroad ding, 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 that kind of a thing, right?
Yeah, uh-huh.
And the veterans of this moving company knock on the door of the bed, the truck bed. They don't open it. They say, yeah, we're kind of stuck here on the railroad tracks. Don't worry about it. We've been told there's no trains coming. And the kid's like, well, can't you get me out of here? Well, no, not right now. However, they fool the kid into... And next thing you know, they blare the siren. What am I hearing here? The horn
Train
of
horn.
and the kid is screaming, help! He's yanking on the door of the truck bed. And the actors who are portraying, veteran movers are like, sorry, dude, we didn't have time to move the truck. Ah!
They went for it, man.
Wow.
And the kid, you see him at the last second as the train noises are getting louder. He's in the fetal position. He's going, waiting to die.
Oh, and obviously they could have been actors, but they sure seemed believable. They'd have to be the world's greatest actors, some of these victims.
Good point.
Because, they looked absolutely terrified. Like I said, the guy they thought made him think murdered his uncle, I thought he was going to jump off a bridge right there. He looked so terrible.
If those people, if the victims of Scare Tactics are actors, good point, they should be handed some kind of an award. They were that sure seemed real to me. All right, Randy Shaver, fair enough for a hump day broadcast.
Can I give you a news update real quick?
I'd love one.
That convicted killer who's been on the loose for 14 days in Pennsylvania. I just saw video right now.
Of him in Minneapolis?
From CNN, he's been captured.
Oh, they got him. Good.
They finally found him after 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful news.
Bad dude.
It's just, it just came across on Twitter. And
this guy killed how many people?
2.
2 people.
Ugh. Yeah. And he had come up with a rifle, stolen a rifle, so he was armed and dangerous. So.
Well, we appreciate the update, Randy Shaver.
On a lighter note, back to
Yes.
fictional football players. Got a text here saying, I am the best fictional football player when I go to the bar to pick up chicks.
Did I ever tell you the story about when I convinced some strippers that I was a retired NHL player?
You did, yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. I told them that Wayne Gretzky gave me the gap in my teeth. They bought it. I played for the Hartford Whalers. What stripper is going to look up the 1993 roster for the Hartford Whalers?
That's true.
One. I didn't say the Penguins or the Canadians. You can look that up. No one knows who played for the Whalers in the early 90s. Worked like a charm, Randy. We got to go.
All right.
We'll talk to you tomorrow.
there's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, Minnesota. CJ Ham here. Huddle up for a second. You need someone to go the extra yard when your furnace is out? Give the ball to the certified pros at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. They've been at it for 90 years. Ready? Break.
Regular furnace maintenance can be your wallet's best friend, slashing energy bills and warding off those inconvenient breakdowns that seem to strike at the worst moments. Don't leave it to chance. Schedule your tune-up today at standardheating.com.
Afford Anything talks about how to avoid common pitfalls, how to refine your mental models, and how to think about how to think.
In the world of money and investing, it can be easy to be dogmatic about your beliefs. You're part of the FIRE movement, Financial Independence Retire Early, or you hate it, you hate it, you hate it. And either you embrace credit cards as a route to getting airline reward, or you follow the Dave Ramsey camp and believe that you shouldn't touch them because if you play with snakes, you might get bit. Afford Anything, wherever you listen.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Oh, it's not working. Froze up.
God darn it. That's embarrassing. Mostly for you. Exclusively for you.
We'll just roll in like such
Yeah,
then.
we're
It's
all
Wednesday here. Here we are on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. We might as well give her hell. Is there something you need to do?
Nope, we're good.
Are you sure?
Yeah, we're good.
All right. We're not going to get in trouble.
Nope.
Might as well just let her buck. And while we're at it, let's give someone a crack at jumping on that damn boat with us right now on the Luther Bloomington. I've had real trouble with that.
Bloomington? Well, you hate Bloomington. That's probably
I do.
why.
I hate that city. But for the last month or so, I'm having a real tough time with this. Right now on the Luther Bloomington Kia text line. Text current. Isn't that a radio station?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Is it still?
I think so.
I don't mean any disrespect.
No, I don't. Text the
come
word
and go, you know.
current.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
CURRENT. Text that to 651-989-9393 for a shot to win tickets to our Rock the River, Infect the River cruise. It is next Friday. Going out with the folks from Paddleford Riverboats, free food from Lucky's 13, live music from Uncle Chunk. We're very happy to have Uncle Chunk joining us, and the prize is furnished by the wonderful people from the aforementioned Paddleford Riverboats. So if you were too cheap to buy a ticket, here's your shot at winning your way onto that big old boat. But if you do win a ticket on this boat, we do expect you to buy some merch.
Buy something or leave.
Are we going to sell some merch?
I don't know.
We did last year, so
You
hopefully.
better buy something if, in fact, you won tickets.
Buy something or get off.
And if you bought a ticket, we also expect you to buy something. It's going to be a hell of a fun night. All right, Wapple Dana Cubby. Any of you's got any general complaints on being a dude? What don't you like about being a dude? Do the balls bother you now and again, or the kidneys?
Every once in a while, the balls, sure.
Yeah, like hot days.
Is there anything specifically about being a dude?
Speaking of balls, I did have a moment earlier where I almost screamed in pain because I kind of shifted in my chair and just got the balls just right.
Yeah, that's aging, man.
Mm-hmm.
Happens more as you age.
You sat on them.
Yep. I almost just screamed in pain.
Any other general complaints on being a dude?
Well, there's some size concerns. I wish people would just ignore that, but certainly there's some anxiety around there.
Oh,
So
come
mostly
on,
the penis.
Well, you could refer to it as a penis. It's more of a procreation organ, but yes, you could call it a penis if you want to be vulgar about it.
I've been trying to tell you to stop worrying about that for how many years now?
Decades. I can't.
Barstool Sports put together a bracket type of a system on the worst things about being a dude. The worst things about being a male. I'm not going to get involved in the seedings and this and that. I'll just throw some of these at you. At least this is their examples of some of the negative things about being a dude. One of them being, we are the first to be drafted into a war. Is that still true?
I'm not sure if that's still
No,
true. I haven't
well,
really
wait a minute.
followed
Wait a
it,
minute.
but-
I didn't even realize what I was saying. Drafted into a war. That's not a thing anymore.
No.
Okay.
They've talked about bringing it back, but yeah, I don't believe it is back.
There you go.
We had a middle school teacher that just instilled fear in us, being like, yeah, it's going to happen to you guys. There's no question about it.
Why would they do that? Just playing with you?
It was a history teacher, and we were talking about current events that day, and there's some type of conflict. He goes, yeah, you guys will be drafted. There's no doubt about it.
Well, no, I mean, I understand like the setup, but I mean, he was serious, or he was just messing with you?
I think he was being, he wasn't a guy that joked around. He was a very serious, hard-nosed dude. And he did, and like, it caused me to lay in bed and awake at night, like going, oh my God, I'm going to have to go to a war. I'm not built for this.
Yeah, and you know what? And the military would agree.
Yeah. I show up, there's like, nah, get back on the butt. You're good.
Yeah, I guess I have heard conversations about the draft someday coming back. I've heard that on and off. Okay, so I guess one of the worst things about being a dude is being the first to be drafted into a war. If the draft ever comes back, I don't know if that will remain true or if it'll be... I had 2 or 3 buddies who were very, very stressed out about being drafted. Right when we got out of high school, the Gulf War took off. And 2 or 3 of my buddies, whenever they got more than 6 beers in them, that's what they wanted to talk about. You know, and some of them even broke down once or twice. They were so worried about this. And I guess it never really crossed my mind. I guess I always thought, okay, if a draft happens, it happens. And I also kind of, Josh, tell me if this ever crossed your mind. I often thought when I was that age and considering the idea of being drafted into the military, I thought, I bet they'll take a look at me and probably not exactly place me on the front lines anyway. You know what I mean?
I had that assumption as well.
Yeah, they'll make me they're not going to look at me and say, this guy's going to be, leading anything.
Yeah, unless they wanted me to be like the #1 in Operation Human Shield, I'd imagine.
I was comforted by my own...
I'm not going to be picked first.
My own wimpiness, I guess, might be the term. Okay.
How about this for the worst part of being a dude? From Covered in Metal Jesus. Not getting the shredded cheese on my salad first at Olive Garden. You're right. You're going to have to wait until they get all the girls at the table.
And then you get that bottom cheese, you don't get the fresh right off the top cheese.
This is interesting. It's been so long, I had forgotten about this, and I'm going to go ahead and take the word of this listener out of my Vulcan mind, Jesus. All males, when they turn 18, must sign up for selective service. They use that if there ever is a military draft.
Boy, I don't know. I don't remember.
I remember that.
I'm assuming he's right.
Yeah, I don't know if it's still legit, but I do remember that when I turned 18. Absolutely. Signing up for selective service. So nowadays, do women also sign up for selective service automatically when they turn 18? These are things that I don't follow. Okay. Something else that sucks about being a dude. Ooh, being the prime suspect in your wife's murder no matter what.
They always look at the husband first. Every true crime story I've ever watched, it's right to the husband.
Maybe if husbands stopped murdering wives, they wouldn't look at the husband first.
It does appear to be 99.9% of the time, it's the husband or boyfriend.
Right, yeah. You can almost bet on that, just like you could bet on Aaron Rodgers getting half a yard, Wapple.
That's a good bet. Usually.
That was a great bet.
I think I told you guys this. I dummied down my television channels recently. Well, someone did it for me because I don't understand the language that they speak when you make that phone call. But I dummied down my cable package. I don't have any movie channels or anything. So when I get home from work, and you guys know how I operate, I like to just absolutely windmill junk food into my yap while watching a little bit of television before I take my nappy nap in the middle of the day. So because I don't have any movie channels anymore, I've been watching a lot of those, I guess you'd call it true crime programs, shows like Evil Lives Here. And it's always the story of you married some guy, you thought he was normal, next thing you know, he's eating your children in the spare room. So this certain little fact here, or not a fact, but this certain little statement here about one of the worst things about being a man is that you're the prime suspect in your wife's murder no matter what. That's absolutely the truth. Whenever I watch these true crime shows, like Dana said, they always have the husband pinned immediately to find out what the hell happened around here. And I've really learned to enjoy those programs.
They're great.
Really,
I love the Dateline podcast. I like the podcast actually better than the show.
Than watching it on television?
Yeah. Supernatural Jesus said, worst thing about being a dude, we only get like a 2 to 3 second long orgasm when women get those long 2 to 3 minute full body ones that I've been hearing so much about. Yeah, and multiples in some cases.
All right. Something else that sucks about being a dude, at least according to Barstool Sports, you're not able to order what they call here a fun drink without people looking at you sideways.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, Josh definitely agrees with that.
That's true. I can order any foo-foo weird drink I want to, and no one's going to bat an eye.
Yeah, if I want
I'm not a foo-foo drink guy, though. Why would you say I agree with it?
No, when you got the kitty cocktail or the Shirley Temple.
Oh, well, yeah, I didn't order that, but that was hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was talking
I've
about.
always been only a beer drinker, but I think I know where they're going with this. Yeah, a dude walks up to the bar, orders a sex on the beach. I don't even know what some of these fancy drinks are, but yeah, there's always some smart mouth at the bar who has to, chime in. I will admit that when I was freshly 21, started hitting the bars on a regular basis, I walked into a bar and one of my buddies was sitting there and he was drinking a glass of wine and I busted his chops upside down.
That's like a thing now. So many guys, especially it seems like they're wine drinkers at this point.
I definitely gave my boyfriend crap the first time he ordered a gin and tonic, which is ridiculous because it's not a girly drink. But in my head, I thought, oh, a little lime. If you have a little lime, it's girly. I remember he ordered one and I was like, bitch.
Oh, my God.
We got no business with that.
Jeez, Louise.
I drink gin and tonics all the time, too.
When I turned 21 and I saw that buddy in a bar drinking a glass of wine, that was the first time I'd ever seen a man drink a glass of wine.
Yeah, it's big now. I have a couple friends that have just gone full-on wine guys.
Oh, yeah, I've heard gentlemen in this building have long discussions on wine. They know a lot about it. I was food shamed recently by my brother, and I knew it was going to happen. I know I'm going to get crap for this.
I'm nervous.
But we were at a birthday brunch for my mom, and the place we were at happened to have avocado toast.
No, Josh, you're kidding me. That was going to be the one food I was going to say wasn't avocado toast, was it?
Don't shame me.
Yeah, let the man live, actually. It's hard enough being a dude.
And I heard so much about it, and I've heard people give people so much crap about it. I'm like, I'd like to know what this is about. And so when the server came over to me, I was like, yeah, can I get some avocado toast? And they're like, I'm sorry. And I said, yeah, I'd like some avocado toast. And then I kind of am looking around to make sure nobody knew what I ordered. And my brother was across the table with his arms crossed looking at me, and he just shook his head no.
That's awesome.
As if we are no longer brothers. Like, I just wanted to try it out.
How'd you like it?
It was great. I haven't ordered it since, but I got to say I did like it.
I've watched it consumed by other people, and it looks horrific to me.
I like it.
I cannot stand out. You guys know that. But Josh,
it's like eggs and bacon on it. It was, they called it avocado toast.
Oh, it looks so horrible.
I wish I had a picture of my brother's face. He was like, "Are you serious? On Mom's birthday, you're going to do that?"
I love you like no other, and you know that, Josh. But if we were ever out together and you ordered avocado toast, there's no way I could keep from saying something.
Well, I would expect it.
Yeah.
And like I said, I did my best to keep it quiet. But
here's the movie you should have done, Josh. You should have said, yeah, I'll take the Big Mouth breakfast burrito, extra bacon, extra sausage. And then you go sneak up the waitress after. Actually, can I change that to the avocado toast? And then
and like a Diet Coke.
And then they bring it to you, and you're like, "Oh, I'll just eat this. It'll be fine. I don't want to. No need to go through the hassle."
My relationship with my brother has been strained ever since.
I can believe that.
Half-assed morning show 93X.
I gotta urinate so bad. Here's what we're doing on the program because we got to get out of here. The 93X Half-assed morning show. We got to get going soon. The things that suck about being a dude, according to Barstool Sports, at least. They put together an article on the things that suck about being a dude.
Yeah.
Like being the first drafted into a war, being the prime suspect in your wife's murder, being banned, or banned isn't quite the way to put it, being criticized for buying foo-foo fun drinks. Here we go. We continue on. Having to put effort into sex. You got to pump back and forth. You got to get your hips moving.
You do want to do your best.
Sometimes you can just lay there.
Sometimes, the hammies tighten up a little bit.
It does seem exhausting. Have you guys ever seen those viral videos? It was a trend for a little bit for like the man and the woman to switch spots for like the man to be like, all right, you try to pump for that long. Let me see if you can do it for longer than like 3 minutes. And
I have not seen those videos.
they're not like actually doing the act. She's just like in the position trying to practice like what a man does. And it looks exhausting. She gives up after like 60 seconds.
Yeah, I suppose it can be exhausting.
I remember when I was young and, you tried, in one session, you tried to figure out every possible position known to man. Those were exhausting. I mean, you were young and you had the energy for it. I can't imagine trying something like that. I ended up in the emergency room. All right. Having balls.
They can get in the way.
That does seem really inconvenient.
Having balls is one of the things that really sucks about being a dude. I got a text from a listener that said the worst thing about being a dude is just the entire crotch situation. He says we've got excessive bush, beans, a weenie, sweat, and the combination of all of those things creates that weird sauerkraut smell.
Yeah.
You guys know that smell, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I hate the ball sweat. That's the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
it's gross, dude.
Just miserable on hot days.
Chafing.
Yep.
Trying not to make a girl nervous when you happen to be walking behind her.
That is a thing.
It is.
That never enters my mind.
I guarantee you, I'm nervous every single time. Doesn't
I worry
matter what
about
you
that.
look like. Doesn't matter who you are. I'm usually nervous.
You really worry about that, Josh? You're walking behind a girl in a supermarket or whatever, and you worry about what exactly?
Well, I don't want to make someone uncomfortable. If it's like two of us in the hallway or something like that,
And when I go for a lot of walks around the neighborhood, around the lakes and stuff, and I'm a fast walker, so I feel like a girl like notices that that's just my normal pace, but it seems like I'm chasing her almost.
Do you ever? I heard from like some of my guy friends that they will cross the street before a girl has to because they know that she wants to.
I have to admit that this is something that has never crossed my mind. Okay, what else sucks about being a guy, according to Barstool Sports? Not being able to get rich on OnlyFans.
If I had some body parts that people wanted to pay money to see, I would absolutely do it in a heartbeat.
Would you really?
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
You put the fear
You're totally
behind
naked, whacking off on only you would do that in a heartbeat?
If I got some good cash for it, yeah, absolutely.
I think once you put the fear behind it, it changes because that would be the main reason I can't. It's just
Dana, come on. Both your folks are still living. You got a sister with a kid, right?
Yeah, girlfriend.
Well, maybe I want to. I don't think I'd advertise it, but if I could just do it on the side discreetly,
people are.
I think that'd be worse.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as the internet and discreetly.
Yeah,
you know that.
This person says of the idea of making a woman nervous as a guy, he stops and pretends to look at his phone until she's far enough ahead. I've done that myself.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I got to get this out.
Go ahead.
I'm miserable right now.
What's the matter with you?
I'm really bummed out. I made a mistake. I'm only human. It was ill-advised. I shouldn't have said anything about ordering avocado toast. I've got some guys working at my house right now. They're building a deck.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
With the exception of Joe, who owns the company, these are manly men.
They're going to beat your ass.
I can't go home.
No, they're going to beat your ass.
They're going to hold this against me. They're warning me via text message.
They're texting you.
Just don't even come home.
Don't even show up.
You live with me now. That's your only option.
You better bring those guys a keg of beer and a bucket full of porno movies or something like that.
Right, this is my new home here.
As soon as you get home, you better start grilling steaks or something.
Oh, no. I don't know how to operate a grill, actually.
Don't say that.
I don't even know where to buy a beer.
Having to protect your family is something that sucks about being a dude. Sure, some lunatic kicks in the front door. Who's expected to meet him there and get him out? The dude.
True. Who has to go and check on a weird noise in the middle of the night? Not me.
You're expected to know how to fix things. You're expected to deal with bugs and critters. You're expected to be the breadwinner are some more examples of, according to Barstool Sports, the things that suck about being a man.
And my girlfriend had hornets that needed taken care of, and she asked if I could do it, and I said yes. And then I immediately thought, like, I'm going to have to ask Nick and Josh how to do that.
And you did.
And I absolutely brought it up after the show, and I'm like, hey, guys, I've never done this before.
Getting a prostate exam. It ain't as... Wait a minute, is that what we did, Josh?
Yeah, that's where you get the finger.
Yeah. Didn't we just do that?
No, that's colonoscopy.
Oh, that's a colonoscopy. Okay,
Yeah.
maybe
I would do that over a prostate exam.
Okay. I don't know if I've had my oil checked.
Oh, you haven't?
I don't remember.
I've had it done so many times, I'm suspicious.
Oh, I know you. Yeah, you. I must have been fingered at one point or another. Do I understand this one? The stigma of asking kids to play? What does that mean?
Oh, stranger danger, you're a creeper. You're a little pedo.
Like if you want to go play with a kid, it's frowned upon.
Well, why the hell do you want to go play with a kid?
I don't know.
I get
if a mom walked up and oh, hey, you're playing on your bike, it'd be more likely that she would be able to than a dude.
I have a good example. I'll help you out here, Wapo. Like if you're say I had a boyfriend that has a kid. If we were at the park together, it looks more normal for me to be playing at the park with the kids than him at the park.
Well, I can tell you this much. I had a personal finance teacher in college, one of the funniest guys I'd ever met. And he had said, my advice to all the guys in the class here is if you're at Target and you see a kid in an aisle alone, you find somebody in a red shirt and khakis, do not go in that aisle alone with the kids. I mean, I've walked into a bathroom and it was like a kid in there with his pants all the way down peeing at the urinal. I turned around and walked out. I'm going to wait.
Just avoid the situation.
Or if there's a kid that looks lost, actually, I'll send my wife, hey, that kid looks like they could use some help.
Yep.
For that fear that somebody's going to think that's a little creepy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's wrap this up with a text from a listener. On the worst things about being a dude, this listener says, hands down, the worst thing is how much more difficult it is to get laid. A chick can get laid, these are his words, not mine, no matter what she looks like, how big or small, she's tall or short, old or young. A dude will strike out hundreds of times if his beard isn't quite right or his hair is too long or short. That's Brewers or High Life Jesus. I know what you're saying, Brewers and High Life Jesus. Josh and I have always said, if you're a lady, you want to have sex, all you have to do is ask.
Yeah, I hope that's okay to say.
Yeah, it is. This conversation came up not too long ago, and because I was talking to my boyfriend, I was like, that must just suck being a dude, because you're just horny and you can't just go have sex with somebody, because we were talking about droughts, and I was like, that would suck not being able to get laid for 3 months.
What do you think about that, Wapple? 3 months.
I'm sorry, Wapple.
24 years?
I'm sorry, Wapple.
Well, it's funny, too, how, Ashley, I think you've said, no, I've got friends that are guys. We're just friends. And if you asked any one of them to have sex, they would say yes.
That became very obvious after I got a divorce.
Yeah, we mentioned that to you, and you thought, no. These are just friends. There's no way.
They came to the wedding.
Dubbed famous Mises has it figured out. Mises, excuse me. He says, if a guy hears a noise in the night, you say, God, I wish this chick would just leave me alone. And then your girl will shoot straight out of bed and check every time. I'm going to get this bitch.
So true.
What a hell of a situation we're in.
That's good. Ashley, I mean, what sucks about, you got a couple things. I mean, I know we got to go, but maybe a few women are saying, hey, try having a kid and tell me how much it sucks being a guy.
Shark Week is a bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's no fun.
Shark Week is a bummer.
Everything hurts, and every single month for a week.
Yeah, that would get old, I'd imagine. Luckily for you, you only got about 20 to 30 years more of it. Safe travels to Fish and Chips Jesus, taking his first flight today, heading over to the UK. Shout out to Tree Lovin' Taco Jesus. Today's his Friday. Lucky you. Happy birthday to ICU RN Jesus, turning 33 plus 1 from Dual Exhaust Jesus, and happy 13th to Lucy from The Real Deal Physical Therapist Jesus and Butter Making Jesus. Have a happy hump day.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93 X.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Regular furnace maintenance can be your wallet's best friend, slashing energy bills and warding off those inconvenient breakdowns that seem to strike at the worst moments. Don't leave it to chance. Schedule your tune-up today at standardheating.com.